Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Night of Champions, brought to you by Ruthless Esports. My name's Contra. Joining me is Sir Cloud as we bring you some heated battles in the realm of PUBG Mobile.
Oh yeah, we'll be featuring some of the best teams around, ladies and gentlemen. And although this is a rebranded name, but then again, it's by Ruthless, so you know it's going to be good. And it's definitely going to be good because we're going to have teams not only from Southeast Asia, but also from other regions, from South Asia and also some other parts of the world. But we will keep you guessing until we reveal all the teams to all of you out there who are currently watching.
Of course, I do seem to actually see that you've been actually speaking a bunch, but I can't seem to hear a single word you say. But hopefully the audience will be able to actually hear. Also, of course, production, and I really do hope that we actually get this sorted out. Meanwhile, of course, we got so many big names as we have all these teams coming from South Asia, majority coming from Southeast Asia to contend, and also we are including the newly crowned PMCL champion. So that being said, it'll definitely be a really great battle that we're going to be getting here for this evening.
Yeah, there's a simple fix. I'm sure you can hear me now. So
Yeah.
we'll keep it as it is for now then. Yeah, so tonight these players will be playing. Well, we go through the format in a little bit more, but just to tease you guys a little bit, we won't be playing Sandhawk today. No Sandhawk, no small maps. We're going to go to the two biggest maps in the game. Well, you guys know it by now, these two biggest maps, and what else could it be, right? Definitely not Weekendy. When is Weekendy ever coming back? We don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a cold, long winter without the candy. And that being said, I think that teams are definitely happy to go through these from scrims where they get a lot more familiarized, especially on these bigger maps, which is going to be played in more frequent of a rotation. Therefore, it's good to actually get themselves at least adjusted to tempo of play once they do perhaps meet each other in the PMGC. But, you know, that's still probably like months or weeks away, where we still have a lot of all these other teams who are also vying for spots globally. But hey, we've been looking at the power level in the South Asia or Asia Pacific in general, where, you know, we've got so many stacked rosters out there. How do they fare? How do they actually match up now, since they've not really met each other for at least a couple of weeks or months now?
Yeah, so this is somewhat like a teaser to what might happen in the PMGC later on, because obviously we'll be featuring, well, most of the PMGC teams, that is, and maybe a little bit of a mix here and there, but it's also great exposure to whichever teams that will be having that ambition of playing in the globals in the future, right? So this is always a good opportunity just to get a feel, just to get that vibe of like how all these giant teams might play, and also adjust themselves accordingly, because we've always heard about like, oh, some teams not getting the opportunity to play with these giant teams, hence it's hard for them to improve. Well, now it's on the table that they have this opportunity to actually scrim with them. But of course, before we get onto our game, we gotta introduce to you the format of this season.
That's right, as we'll be having 2 days of action with 4 matches to play out for each respective day throughout the scrim day. So it only will be a total of 8 matches for the scrims, whereas in the finals, that's where they will give their very best shot, where they'll be playing 6 matches back to back. And the point systems as follow, as we have already seen in many tournaments across the years, where the chicken dinner rewards the team with that 10-pointer. Second place onwards, it's going to be 6 points. As the number do increase, so does the placement points. For teams that are battling between 9 as well as 16, they better hope that they do get those elimination points, as it just will back them 1 point per piece.
Yeah, and this will be our schedule, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are in the October 1st. And so we will spend 2 days of scrims with the teams today and also tomorrow. And then we'll be going straight on to the finals, starting from Thursday, 3rd of October onwards until Saturday, 5th of October. So 3 days worth of finals. So this is like a warm-up match for all these teams, for them to really get the groove before they head on to the finals itself.
Yeah, like overall, this is where I really want to see if they can actually start really strong, or even so, certain teams they might not actually show all of their cards throughout the course of the run. Therefore, how much is actually at stake for first today? Maybe not too much, but at least it gives us a glimpse of what they could potentially offer in the finals.
Yes, so it's a taste, it's a feel. So that also means that some teams might not play to their best, but well, these teams they are competitive, right? Naturally, in any game, whatever scrim, they would have that boiling blood that they want to perform the best. And of course, because we do have a live stream, so the fans are watching, they want to give the best back to the fans at least.
That's true, and I'm pretty sure that a whole lot of fans are keeping their eyes on all these big names, whether they're from Indonesia rooting for BIGETRON, if they're from Mongolia rooting for STALWART, or even Team Falcons that's been looking really hot on form from the region of SA. We also do have Agon I8, so this is definitely some of the big teams that we'll be looking forward to see pop off. And of course, with the champions of the PMSL also recently getting themselves not only those big giant cash prize, but also the shiny new trophy. I'm pretty sure that they want to uphold their integrity to at least hold on to a top spot of their own. So how well will they fare? It's only about time that we actually find out. So that being said, let's actually reveal to you all the teams that will be playing for this evening.
And here we have it, the Vampire Esports, The Savior, Roy Esports, Alliance, Team Secret, FaZe Clan, RRQ Rio, BIGETRON Knights, Alter Ego, Ares, Formidable Vibes, HARAME Bros, AS, Agon I8, Esports, VOIN Donkey, Team Falcons, BIGETRON NG, and STALWART Esports.
Yeah, these are names that are huge around the globe in the PUBG Mobile realm, and this is where we will have to see whether they will be able to stand tall in such a tough course of a lobby. And also, just taking a look at the addition of HARAME Bros, I'm pretty sure that the PMCL champions also do have a big say on how well they would be able to really put up a fight up against some of the very best of not only Southeast Asia, but also South Asia.
Oh yeah, absolutely right. This is definitely not their first showing in the globals or at the world stage because they were at PMWC. But of course, it's great to have them back again, the newly crowned champions, back-to-back champions at PMCL, by the way. And this will be our map rotation for today. So no Sadhol match will be played. We're going to start off with ERANGEL, followed by MIRAMAR, and then we're back in ERANGEL, and we'll end the night in MIRAMAR. So only 4 matches will be played today, and you don't want to miss out on any of these matches. Timing wise, this will be based on +7 GMT. So where you're watching across the world, do adjust your timing accordingly.
That's right. Or if you're already in the channel, just stay put because all these rounds will go by in a flash. For 4 matches back to back, we're definitely in for an absolute treat. Now, first, we did manage to receive some certain information of how teams will basically play out, or they just basically stick to their own game plan based on their region. Would you be expecting perhaps a little bit of a hot drop moving into this first 2 days, since it's still considered to be some sort of a scrim somewhat before they go into the real action heading to towards the later stages of the week?
If we talk about potential hot drops, I don't think so. I think everyone wants to have a good time and, you know, want to spend as much time as possible actually playing. Because if you hard drop somebody, cool, it's exciting. But if you get eliminated, then, well, the wait is probably like half an hour. And you don't want to be not doing anything for half an hour. But we're going to do something as well. As usual, in the Ruthless desk, we'll always have our prediction here, including from production. So, Contra, please do the honors.
Honestly, there's so many big names out there. It's really difficult to pick. But if I were to randomly throw a name out there, I think FaZe Clan have definitely showed some strength. But I'm going in for Vampire Esports. That's the current champions of the PMSL.
Okay. I'm getting the vibes, right? Because it was just a couple of days ago that the PMCL just ended. So I'm gonna put in the champions of PMCL themselves, Harame Bros.
Harame Bros for the
Ah.
very first game. Now that is definitely a really strong pick, and of course we got the superstar marksman Federales that's been absolutely popping off throughout the whole tournament. Now it's production's turn. Let me guess, are you guys going for STALWART Esports? Are you guys going
Ah.
for Miracle Vibes? It has to be, right? For Miracle Vibes. Who can forget their legendary run across these global stages? And I'm sure they're here to show off some really strong games.
Yeah, they're going for the big boys up front, right? I mean, it's for Miracle Vibes. At this point, for Miracle Vibes, at the global stage, it's almost like the uncrowned king. Like, they do well throughout the season, but when it comes to the globals, maybe not yet. But who knows this season, right? So, of course, this sort of scrim/mini off-season tournament it's a great warm-up for them in preparation for their upcoming globals later on. And for Miracle Vibes, has always been that team that's always there. So, I mean, we've seen it with Alpha 7. They've always been the team that's almost there. And finally, they clinched the trophy at PNWC.
Yeah, that was definitely a legendary moment for the boys that's been working so hard. For Miracle Vibes, I believe it is more about their effort overall, and now with the PMGC also wrapping around the corner, I'm pretty sure that there is going to be more opportunities out there for Miracle Vibes to be able to garner a whole lot more. That being said, though, we have some really good games going underway in a moment's time, so we'll see whether our predictions going to be coming into fruition. And I really do like that this form of culmination once again, where we get diversity of play styles. We will definitely know that almost every single team in this lobby is going to be absolutely sharp. Let's just see who's going to be able to actually get some great day out of the scrims.
Yeah, I mean, like what you said, right? Every team is sharp, so it's truly hard for us to really pick one name. I mean, you can just randomly pick one and you'll be like, oh, it's still a good pick anyway, right? But who knows? It might come up. Some teams might come up with a surprise. Some teams that, maybe amongst these giant teams, like maybe that one team is not as giant as the others, but they could come up with a surprise because, it is a scrim at the end of the day. Everyone's allowed to experiment and try out whatever they want to try, including the big boys as well. So maybe the big boys want to try something that they're not comfortable with, and the results could go the other way. So those kind of things can happen.
True enough, and overall, this is a very good time for them to really test their strength. If they really want to go for hot drops, by all means do so until they figure out for the finals. Maybe it wasn't exactly a good idea to challenge Team A, Team B, and like we said earlier, like almost every single team on board is super strong. We might have actually mentioned a few names out there. Did we forget about Alter Ego Ares? Did we forget about all these other big names like Roy Esports, this Savior, who's been really showing up in the recent tournaments? Of course, there's a whole lot to talk about right there. And since you've also covered some of these regions already, I think that you've definitely been familiarized on certain playstyles coming from the side of both South Asia as well as Southeast Asia. Who do you think who's gonna take the kick here in the finals? Like, if you ever have a hunch, because I'm looking at a lot of names coming from SEA. Could it be them?
Yeah, I mean, if we talk about like ratio, right, and we break it down by region, well, SEA has the most teams, so naturally that would give SEA an advantage. But we also do have a South Asia representative, which is Agon I8. So maybe they're the ones who could come up with a surprise, since they are waving the South Asia flag, the only team from Pakistan among all these other teams, and they might have that pride, like, okay, we are bringing the Pakistani flag up here amongst all these teams, and that might be a morale boost for them to do well.
Yeah, same goes to the Mongolians as well, right? We have STALWART Esports and also For Miracle Vibes, where, these teams are always constantly up there on the charts. There's almost very little chances to see these names actually falter very, very early on. So I would definitely expect them to be heavy contenders heading into this matchup. And I guess we wait no longer as we already get our map all sorted up for us to hit right in for our very first game of the PUBG Mobile Ruthless Night of Champions, ladies and gentlemen. Get your popcorn, get your snacks, as we will now kick off with match 1.
Oh yeah, can't wait to see what sort of tone these teams will set here for us for tonight, of course. And this will also set the pace, the tone for the entire day. And here we go. Jumping into the match, it's going to be ERANGEL, game number 1. Flight path-wise, let's see how kind will the flight path be. But of course, what's going to be more important is how kind the first circle will be.
Yeah, that is always the only form of ideas where a team will be able to plot out of. But looking from the trajectory of the flight path, it seems to be relatively fair for those who, especially opting to move into the islands. They will get their first dibs, and that will definitely be for Miracle Vibes moving into the military base. Will anybody else join them? Doesn't seem likely at the moment. Perhaps we might actually see certain teams be stretching around the corners of Fairpure. And an extension to Gatka is also very possible with this flight path. So I like the choices that's currently available.
Oh yeah, it's a nice flight path so everyone can pretty much drop to wherever they want. But it also means that a potential hot drop. I'm seeing 3 teams on the military base island itself. There's Falcons there, Miracle Vibes, and also Team Secret. So I wonder if Falcons wants to challenge Team Secret for Novo since they're heading the same direction.
It could just be the case where we're going to be seeing a really tough stance coming in from both sides. We do have the rest of BTR. In fact, there's actually 2 BTRs in this lobby. Just to not be confused, there's BIGETRON NG as well as BIGETRON Knights. Knights being the main roster, I do believe.
Yeah, so that's going to be the main roster. The other one is going to be the Academy roster. And we see a lot of familiar names, obviously, with the main roster. Circle-wise, it's going to start on the right. Looks like it's going to be a kind circle as a start. Going to center around the prison, shelter-ish area. But we got a lot of teams there, though. So that's somewhere that we want to keep an eye on what's going to happen. Northern side, Harame Bros. We got BTR and also RRQ way up north in the Saverny area. And we already got our first blood by none other than Rosemary.
Rosemary always pops off in all these moments, but STALWART Esports wastes no time to fight right back. Unfortunately for STALWART Esports, they immediately got taken down in that scuffle. 2 members already lost in just within the span of the first minute of play. So it definitely will be a little bit of a struggle for the rest of STALWART Esports, but it's definitely something really essential for Alter Ego Esports, as they have already gotten a firm control over on these sheltered grounds.
Oh yeah, that's a really good start for them. 2 eliminations without losing anyone, so that's great. We got Harame Bros here on screen. Of course, Federales has to play Range and Jappy, so they're playing as a trio as a start. Hopefully, we get a full squad later on in our following match. And of course, Harame Bros newly crowned PMCL champions, and they are the back-to-back PMCL champions. They've had experience playing in the PMWC recently. The results, let's just say it wasn't that great. But to be fair, it was their first time in the world stage. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see a much improved Harame Bros in the upcoming global series.
Yeah, overall, I definitely am very excited to see what the champions of PMCL have to offer on the table. We will have a continuation of fight between Falcons as well as the rest of Team Secret just by the south side of the map, where they're battling for the control of the bridge on the outskirts of Nova Noe. Wilson personal. Murder tries to hold on for the top side of the sniper's nest. He will be able to find it. Beautiful shots connecting, but here comes Jiki. He's got that DBS up and ready. He does not even need it. Very quick response coming from Break to be able to hold it down. And Falcons could still be able to fight back. Whereas over on the outskirts, there is a knock. So Action will have to go in for those quick revivals. Falcons now will be in a really tough predicament since they are in open territory. But the good news is Brick has only got short range weapons, so it's going to be tough to actually land. But sometimes with the pro players on board, even if it's a micro Uzi, it could still land.
Yeah, long range micro Uzi. Come on. I want to see that headshot. I want to see that knock from that distance. Onto IC, maybe. One of the best players in the world. And looks like, yeah. Realistically, he's probably not going to take it. But GK will take it, though. He does have an M4, so that's a decent weapon. But interesting enough, even though Team Secret, they only have 2 players, one of their players are pretty low on utilities, yet they still want to put pressure on Falcons.
Yeah, understandably so, because even if they do cut over a bridge, there could be other teams waiting around the wings. And this is also the best situation for them to gatekeep Falcons ever since that they've spotted out these members out in the open. But of course, with some of them already rotating with certain vehicles, this isn't going to be an easy task at all for Team Secret to carry on their pursuit. Meanwhile, it seems like flags from Alliance have been able to spot something out in the open, or perhaps just a couple of test shots, holding over onto the southern areas of the port, where, of course, they've gone through a recent rebranding, but still looking sharp as ever coming from Alliance.
Well, teams in the center will need to still look sharp. We got STE in the somewhere in the middle of the circle. Next to them is going to be BTR. So there could be a potential clash there for spots. Even Alter Ego is around the corner. All right, but we're going to zoom in onto Formidable Vibes. Now we have Baron here. He's pretty much all alone, though, but he has a vehicle. So I expect him to bail this area.
Yeah, it's been a little tough to actually wiggle for space in the early span of rounds. Whereas even tougher for teams like Team Secret, dealing with the pressure, it seems like Falcons wants to recommit. Team Falcon knows that Break is still somewhere around this vicinity, but not opting to breach just yet. They will go in for a quick wrap around. Perhaps the main priority right now is to get into the stage 1 circle, which is still across the island. So we'll probably see more battles taking place later on. Whereas a little pressure going over onto the side of STALWART Esports. Sanchez tries to move away from the crosshairs of these players of BIGETRON and G. Speaking of which, Sanchez now drives by right next to the rest of Alter Ego Esports. And here comes Octa, closing in really closely. He's all alone though, so he's gonna be a 1 versus 2 battle, but he's not gonna stay put. There's gonna be cover fire coming from Alpha. What a bait that was coming from Octa to open up this fight against BTR.
Yeah, and everyone wants to take a piece of this high ground around the area of prison, and with that 1 knock, it's the signal to go in. Hancho fires back. He's pretty low himself though. He got that 1 knock, but then again, he has to take the time to reset himself. So the teammate Leon Punk is currently knocked down. Alpha 7 doesn't have a good angle on the other side. We got Sticks, which just got knocked down by Hans, and now we will be all in. Hancho on the other side. Jump shot with Bison by Alpha 7. Now he puts himself on the lower ground that allowed Hancho to counter back onto Alter Ego, eliminating them, and BTR NG are the kings of the hill.
Wow, what a defensive hold coming up from Hans Jill right there. And in pretty peculiar fashion, we will see all these Indonesian rivalry spin off in the early span of the round. And Alter Ego, it really looked like they were very widespread, and those formative angle look a little bit scuffy, but hey, the job was done by BTR nonetheless. As we do see, a majority of these teams are already within the range of the center. We do have a couple of teams trailing by from the northwestern side of the island. So this is definitely going to be interesting, as FaZe Clan trailing right behind RRQ as well as HARAME Bros. They do find themselves in zone, and HARAME Bros, like you predicted, might actually have a great time in the field.
Wow, look at this circle. Hard shift towards the north, and we have a 50-50 split between the northern side and also the main peninsula. 3 teams still traveling from the north, so that's going to be pretty interesting on what's going to happen. And I would expect to see perhaps a clash up north for territories from at least the 3 traveling teams that we saw earlier on, including HARAME Bros, one of them.
True enough, and I believe that Harame Bros, they will take a very powerful position in towards those compounds. And we'll see whether they will be able to stand tall up against those moving targets right now, as that's going to be a collision course right into the fields. It's ZX versus VPE, where they're all full sending into the shack. It's a result that will actually clip one, but the Saber crashes in, gets that knocked done. And here comes Lambo with a couple of shots, and he still has Fluke holding down the S12K, 5-1, and here comes Levi, but he could not do too much. It's Fluke that flushes them all.
Wow, and with that, DZ have been eliminated. But we're not done yet though with the elimination feed. Okay, it kind of stopped right now. But oh, wait a second, Newsy just got eliminated. Ooh, okay, Vampire Esports lost another play after they won against Xavier. So it's time for reset for them. A lot of teams really try to take the middle spot. That's what we can notice here. But we also notice a movement here by SIA Esports. Now trying to take the high ground on the southern side of school, but there are other teams around the corner.
Yeah, plenty of teams now looking around, definitely eyeing out like vultures. I believe that's how Vampire Esports lose another member in the process. So many casualties here throughout the midst of that stage 2 rotation. And like we could see now, Vampire Esports at least gets themselves a little bit more of a safer region to bypass the corners of Rozak. But there is definitely a couple of teams waiting in the wings. Speaking of which, it's going to be FaZe Clan. Another fellow Thai team to catch them all off guard. Now finding the mark immediately. We have Venturis getting that catch. Those initial shots. He's going to definitely look for more, as Fukov is going to be the final member remaining. And this is not going to look easy at all for him to even dodge out that grenade. Beautifully tossed. That is going to be the end for FaZe Clan.
And look
Vampire
at the circle. Yeah, Vampire Esports eliminated. But based on the circle, we're going to see the next shift. And there's still a decent amount of water in this circle. So this circle is going to be pretty challenging. I guess the next action point would be on the south side where ASA got I8 is at, because right in front of them is going to be Alliance. So if they want to get in, they have to take fights.
Yeah. Very unfortunate for certain teams, as that circle kind of ping pong off of the initial region where plenty of teams were thinking that it's going to be all the way up north. While those who are currently in Rozak will have to be enlisted for a battle, speaking of which, this is where Roy Esports find themselves. The full send of a catch, as Tuz will be able to quickly clear them out. That's a huge 2-pointer again against all these members of VOIN Donkey. While this is definitely one great compound for them to hold out, which is kind of in between the rivers, where other teams will definitely be moving on and about. So Roy Esports, VOIN Donkey, they're definitely taking the right spaces for now. But VOIN Donkey has been weakened up. We'll see what can Roy Esports do even more in the later stages of the game.
Yeah, playing without Shunos now that he has been eliminated. And on the other side, we got Team Falcons here. They came from Novo. Welcome to the circle. Alliance is right in front of them. And Leon's is the closest one. Icy tries to sneak around Leon's, but Leon's got onto his vehicle. It's not really leaving this area yet though. But I guess it's more of like an insurance policy, or more like he moves his vehicle towards the slope so that it doesn't get shot down by any other team. Now, Icy just waiting for the hit to pop. Oh, he saw it, but Leon's he prone just right in time.
Oh, very, very dicey situation for Leon's. I don't think he knows at all. Shots were not fired yet, but it will be now. Icy will catch it. Beautifully done. Waited for just the right moment, and I do believe that. Oh, it wasn't exactly a steal, because I saw the members of FaZe Clan, they got something on the other outskirts. And meanwhile, Aero will be able to also get a clip with Nachi. Now, talking about the corners of the shack, spotting out the rest of Team Falcons, hiding throughout these bridges of the hillside. But ignited, they're fully sending members right through. Red Devil dances around the smoke. Might be able to find it, and yes, he will.
Wow, the devil himself appears. Getting 3 eliminations, currently dominating as an individual player, bringing points to his team. Now, looks like Leon Palm went for the airdrop. Okay, nice indication there, production. Great work. But FaZe Clan playing as a trio now, going up against Formidable Vibes.
Bait mates are sent right into the shacks, as that will definitely put a little bit of a dent towards those who are hiding out. But we're continuing on with Aegon IH, hot pursuit up against the rest of Falcons. There will be a 1-for-1 trade. Revives have to be set right there, and they're down to UZM right now, trying to actually keep the rest of his teammates afloat. But he is a certain distance away, should be able to still go in for the pickup nonetheless. So great job for Aegon IA. Take a look at that. Already 7 points in the lobby.
Wow, take a look at that as well. Venturas just got eliminated. Now leaving FaZe Clan with only 2 players up against Formidable Vibes. The Formidable Vibes are on the lower ground. They don't have circle, so they want to finish this fight fast. Taking out 9 Noise, the next target. Now only 1 player left from FaZe Clan to try to make this happen. He has to pull off a big clutch here against Giants Formidable Vibes.
They definitely have to do so, but this isn't going to be an easy task. Now that SAA is Lee, I wonder who exactly could this be? Well, he's just going to be dancing all around, trying to find a little bit of a gap in between. He does catch over on the Baron. Is there going to be a whole lot more as he will go in for a jump shot? That's 2. He might be able to seal the deal here, right now. Big shots coming from the S12K, and it will connect. But that was an impeccable fight from that member of FaZe Clan.
Yeah, no heroics here, if you say. And he will win the fight. Baron will be picked up. They should be able to make them move into the circle since they do have that vehicle. Circle is about 400 meters away from them. It should be fine. Don't see any other challenger. But Baron went down back onto the ground thanks to the blue. Probably because of the stage 4 circle, and he does not have any first aid suit. It doesn't have any bandages to make a quick heal. Immediately went down back and only left with Refuse, the final member of Formidable Vibes.
Yeah, it's been a really tough lobby so far, especially those who are still hugging around the corner of Rozak. So for MB, they still got more troubles lying up ahead. Whereas for Roy Esports, they're taking the corner of the fields, trying to gatekeep certain teams from moving inbound. Baron already being taken out by the zone. Therefore, we're only having 10 more teams remaining inside this lobby. And majority of these players out there have been battered and bruised, but not so much for Aegon I8. They managed to recover in time and still holds some of the strongest areas of play by that forest. So that being said, it's going to be difficult for Refus to just cut over onto the corners of the river, but he's trying his level best not to get spotted out. There is also BTR around the other side of the corner, and that seemed to be a tough ordeal. I wonder if they're going to be able to at least get much done right there. It was BIGETRON NG that was wiped out earlier, or should I say, well, actually, both BIGETRON is up and live. I remember there was that battle that happened around that shelter ground that was actually won by the side of NG. And now Nachi is going to be looking for those targets up against the rest of Roy Esports. Interesting enough, Roy Esports have given that position over to the side of Aegon I8 and opt not to contest, but they have definitely gotten just about enough info to work with. And this zone, this is going to be the zone to dictate who's going to get the biggest of advantages.
Wow, hard chip towards the left. BTR has it, Roy has it, but underneath the bridge, we got a fight here involving Harame Bros. Range gets knocked out by Refuge, the final member of Formidable Vibes. The other players of Harame Bros will need to follow up, but Range will be eliminated by Refuge himself. That's going to be a 1v1 fight between Federales as well as Range, and Federales will not lose that fight. The Filipino Terminator is in the game.
Yeah, we finally get a glimpse of action coming in from Fred Rallis, and he definitely wants a whole lot more. Despite Harame Bros only having 2 members left, look at the haul of nades being thrown towards the side of BTR. He's holding it down. He's got that QBZ as well as DBS setup. As he exchanges for an M4, rightfully so. We've seen how sharp this player could potentially get, and now he's going to take the fight up to the rest of BIGETRON.
Yep, all alone though, so he has to be extra careful. 1 DBS and probably another rifle there, but now it's going to be a close quarters combat with GenForce. Federales tries to fight back. He got 1, but the jump shot followed up very soon with Boy Chill taking it out. Harame Bros number 9 with 1 elimination.
Well, that was a good last stand at the very least, coming from the side of Perales. Now, BIGETRON gets to open up a whole lot more room to play out. Balak on that grenade could be able to put a dent to the defenses of Roy Esports, but these smokes are not really giving him weight at all. That toss actually does chip out a little bit of the health bars coming in from the side of Porsche. It's already 5 BIGETRON members that have been able to at least secure those big pointers out there, and Falk does connect that nade. Now looking for Tuss. He gets a glimpse of it. I believe they spotted each other up, but that nade was perfectly cooked. And my guy, coming from ASI8, is just going to be able to receive that perfect 10-pointer doing so.
Wow, past the window to score that elimination. That was beautifully done. Let's see. Will BIGETRON Knights pull off a beautiful one against ASI8 now? Now that they pulled the trigger onto them. They managed to get Red Devil though. Satai the one to knock him down. And that's going to be the signal. Oh, they got a second one. Okay, here we go. UZM will be the next one to go down. And Falak now need to defend against BIGETRON Knights.
Oh, this is going to be tough. I don't think there's time to reset. But Falak, he hides right behind the doorways. And ASAP did not check. But there you have it. At least Atar's going to be able to cover some grounds over the back. As BIGETRON Knights, they take over the Shacks. And plenty of space for the rest of BIGETRON Knights here to work with over the south side. Being absolutely uncontested. And here in the top 4, there's 4 names hailing for Indonesia. And still 2 members remains from Team Secret.
Here we go. Top of 4 teams here, all from Southeast Asia. Let's see who will be the one to take over the first chicken dinner. Right now, everyone has pretty much their own corner, but in about 8 more seconds, we'll see stage number 6 upon us. Got RRQ here on screen, playing with lineup of Snape, No Mercy, Zooing. Okay, not sure if that's Nepeko because he has a tendency of changing his name during the off-season. Yep, that's Nepeko, ladies and gentlemen. Now, break, long range, putting pressure back onto RRQ. And the circle happened to be onto RRQ themselves together with Team Secret.
There's a little bit of wiggle room for these guys over the north side, but for BIGETRON Knights, once they sorted out that battle, now they find themselves out there in the open. Still having some vehicles. Shouldn't have too much of a pressure for them to move inbound. Speaking of which, Bagas tries to crash right through. Now, which Bagas is this? We got Zuxi as well as Luxy. This could be either one, honestly, but he's already tossing that grenade, seemingly to be Zuxi, to be on that push. Gets that knock as Nepeko is down on the ground. So this is going to be tough without that flank angle coming through. Oh. Here comes Genfaz and the rest.
Whoa!
They will arrive to the scene with Genfaz taking down Snake in a blink of an eye.
Nice rush in there by BIGETRON Knights. And with that, RRQ eliminated number 4 with 2 elimination points. Now they managed to get a good compound within the circle. We're down to our top 3 teams. 2 from Indonesia. In fact, 2 of them are from BTR and 1 from Team Secret. From Vietnam, that is. And everyone has their own corner at this point. Now, it will take about a minute, 50 seconds before we see stage 7. But some of these teams, they might be feeling a bit itchy to be like, we don't want to wait a minute, 50 seconds. Let's get on to action, people.
Yeah, for the rest of BIGETRON, honestly, I couldn't be too sure if this is NG or so, but Bagas is now being knocked. Shouldn't be too difficult for Genfaz to go in for that quick pickup. Over on the side of NG, though, take this opportunity to third party while these 2 teams goes on a heated battle. Team Secret, I believe all that they could really do is just to hold out for their defense because they're smack dab in the center. They don't really have to do all too much, and they perhaps wait for Leon Punk to be able to spot their fellow brothers on the other BTR side, and then they will continue with the battle.
Yeah, smack that. Let's see who's going to get on the floor. Now that everyone's really holding their ground. Nobody really wants to make their first move. And totally understandable. I mean, if you got 3 teams left, normally the team that moves last would win because they can come in as a third party. So that's why nobody's willing to make that big move. But I'm pretty sure when we come to stage 7, the zone will force them to do something.
Sure enough, and overall, I guess the problem for Team Secret is that they couldn't really have too much space to run around with. And with all that presence coming in from the north corner, like BTR could easily send a couple of grenades if they still have some resources left in their backs. I like how disciplined these two sides of BTR are when we take a look at how they have approached this end game. It's very methodical, very little risk to be taken out here, despite this being somewhat of a scrim, but you definitely want to show up huge, especially when you're coming from the BTR Academy team to maybe get a spot in the main roster.
Yeah, that's basically their resume, right? If they're able to come out big against their brothers here from the other side. I mean, it's 3v3 if you only compare to BTR teams, and you have Team Secret in between, the both of them, as a duo with the middle of the circle and the compound. So far, perfect spot for Team Secret TF. But looking at the circle, they have shifted both BTRs, but someone needs to move.
Definitely will have a little bit more of a wiggle room for the Lemon. Nades are now being sent towards the side of Jiki as well as Break. Team Secret holding on to their bunkers, but for how long is the question. Sagas now with the new nades also getting spotted out. Jiki tries to trade right back. I'm just really surprised that coming from such a tiny little angle, he would be able to at least squeeze some damage through. Speaking of which, Break, he gets a knock around beyond Punk. So that's not going to be an easy task for the rest of NG to go in for the rescue. Well, shots also connected coming in from downtown. Only one bullet being sent towards Zenfoss's way. So it wasn't exactly too difficult for them to deal with right now. But hey, this is definitely taking a while before they settle the scores. And Team Secret, which side will they have to focus on? Because there's some just by the shack, and the rest coming from Yasnaya.
Yeah, so this will be the question, right? Who will want to make the first move? Nobody's really willing to. We can see that. Probably because of the theory, like what we mentioned, is that who makes the first move will lose. And the last team that makes a move will come in as the third party. So that's why everyone's like really, really cautious about this. Well, they might be forced to move again because the circle will close in about 8 more seconds and we'll be into stage number 8. And I'm pretty sure by then, both BTR teams might not get the circle.
And of course, just to get confirmation, Bagas is Zuxi. Yeah, I assume it to be Zuxi because of the play style where he just rushes forward. Meanwhile, Luxi usually is either pretty much a little bit more of a support or even the long range coverage kind of guy. And here we go. Smoke's now being set right in. Break as well as Jiki will be breached as the nades are being lopped right into the window. Almost catching on the Break, and he's already burning out. What a knock coming in from Satar. Doesn't really have to look, and Satar's definitely out for blood. Trying to hunt out for Jiki, but all these smokes are giving him a little bit of trouble to seek them out as well. It's just going to take about a couple of seconds as Satar will be able to secure both of these members of Team Secret. And now it's the battle of the finals between both BIGETRON sides.
BTR versus BTR, ladies and gentlemen. This will be the resume for the Academy teams. But HARAME knocked out by Satar. Nice long range nade. There's no way that HARAME can be saved. And looks like the big brothers have the upper hand right now. It's going to be a 3v1. Sticks trying to fire back. He is the final member of BIGETRON NG. And they know exactly where he is right now. Zenfoss will come from the other side. And now he needs to switch over to a DDS to the close quarters combat. He will win the 1v1. 2 more to go for Sticks.
Now he's just going to go in to secure the point. Stick, he is definitely revealed by the corner wall. Zuxi will definitely mark his location. The problem is, Stick has got nowhere else to go. The zone now closing right in. Perhaps the best idea is just to deny that point from falling to the hands of these members of BIGETRON Knights overall. Zuxi's just buying a little bit of time. There is supposed to play in within. It's 1 versus 1. Drawing to a close. There's still a nade to be tossed right in. Sticks, he might not actually spot this out and it might just land. Doing some chip damage as he goes in for that spray down. Zuxi putting that pressure on this newcomer, and Satar is gonna make it rain from above.
Okay, we go, Sticks. He's able to pull off a big clutch here. If he's able to win this 1v2, then that's a signal that coach will need to put him in on the main lineup. But we're talking about him going up against players like Satar, players like Zuxi. And if he can pull that one off, it's going to be huge for him. Okay, he moves to the airdrop. Let's have a little bit more space, a bit more cover here, thanks to the airdrop as well. He tries to manage 2 players at the same time, but the name will be lobbed across on the. Takes a bit of damage, down to 40% of health left. He does have 7 frags though, but will he be able to expand all of them? Oh, blinded by the stun grenade, and the rush here will come in. Sticks down pretty low, left, right, and there is no way he'll be able to survive that. BIGETRON Knights takes home the first chicken dinner.
That was a beautiful win from BIGETRON Knights. Not an easy task for them to claim this chicken dinner. We saw how aggressive these players are on the field. Initially, it was Aegon IA that halted that 10-pointer, stopping a lot of teams from moving into the Yasna territory, but BIGETRON wrapped around the north. And of course, another BIGETRON in the form of NG comes in from the south side to be able to overwhelm Aegon IA. And then we get this all BIGETRON finale, which I did not expect at all, but the Indonesian fans, they are absolutely pleased with these performances.
Yeah, Sticks did make them work for it though, not gonna lie. It wasn't an easy one. But nevertheless, looking at the eliminations, they scored 11 eliminations. Satar himself scored 8 of it. Man, I mean, this guy, what else can we say, right? He is legendary by now. He's still very, very young. And of course, with the 8 eliminations comes together with 876 damage, the highest damage of them all. Without a doubt, he's definitely going to be the MVP for this round.
For sure, like Satar, you saw how quickly he pushed out up against Team Secret with full confidence, and one of them being a Molotov to be able to actually catch the guy over on his sniper's nest. So that was absolutely clean. So it's a really good start for these members of BIGETRON Knights, as they should be at the top of the podium by the end of the run. But I do believe that teams like Aegon I8 will be following closely, and of course with BIGETRON NG being part of the top 2, they should have just about good enough points to be able to hold on to for this very first game that just kind of got concluded. I like the fact that Satar does not really have a picture up on board, despite playing for how many seasons already.
I know, right? I know, right? I mean, pull his picture out of the archive, and it's still, yeah, it's still Satar anyway. But as expected, he is our MVP with 8 eliminations, 876 damage, a survival time of 28 minutes, 17 seconds, and a team contribution of 72.73%. I mean, this guy, frankly speaking, he solidifies himself in the Hall of Fame of PUBG Mobile by now.
Yeah, true enough. And same can be said about the rest of his teammates, where they're legends in their own rights. But when we take a look at the biggest performers in this round, we saw immense effort coming in from Falak to really hold down the line against so many teams, and then Stake to be the main player out of the BIGETRON NG side to really hold on till his very last breath. And then for MV, we saw a battle taking place inside Rosat, where he's been able to eventually flush out the rest of FAZE Clan, and it's all thanks to the heroics out of Ruthless, despite having to deal with some treacherous zones to play out.
Yeah, I know, right? Every team has their own MVP here up on the board. So that just shows that how rough this kind of lobby is for all these teams. And the stats are not too far away, except for Satar. He just ran away with the stats. But because of Satar's stats, they claim 11 eliminations. So it's a 21-point haul here for BTR in game number 1, followed by ASI8 Esports, 14 points with also 11 eliminations. BIGETRON NG came in 3rd with 13 points. And overall, every team has their own point in round number 1.
Yeah, there's been really good hollow points being distributed across the board, but of course, it's very top heavy for the moment where the teams have been able to gain control of the region of Yasnaya, gets the benefit of the most out of it. So there's still plenty of games to go for today. I say plenty, there's actually 3 rounds left. So later on, we'll be moving into Miramar, and I do believe that map will probably see better runs coming from names like FaZe Clan, Vampire Esports, and of course the Mongolian squads, they're very, very well versed on how to play out inside of Miramar. That being said, though, it was a really great opener, giving us a taste of what the Night of Champions will be offering throughout the circuit. So we'll take a couple of minutes break, and when we do come back, we'll give you more action here in the Night of Champions.
Now that was your preview of what might happen throughout the PUBG Mobile Ruthless Nights of Champions, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sir Cloud together with Contra here, and we have just seen two BTR teams make the final two.
Yeah, that itself is rather confusing, a little jarring, but hey, at least the big winners by the end of the run is definitely going to be BTR nonetheless, right? But it was between, of course, the main roster versus the Academy team, where we've seen a glimpse of what the Academy side has been able to offer on that 1 versus 2 battle. He's been able to really hold out for so long. Even Genboss went 1 versus 1. He faltered. That goes to show that they do have a lot of promising stars waiting to make their mark eventually, but now they are given the perfect platform, especially fighting against some of the best out there in the world in these lobbies of Night of Champions. There's a whole lot to prove, and right now, starting off in top 2 position, it is a really good start for the side of BIGETRON NG.
Oh, absolutely, right? And Sticks have not played in like even in PMSL or any of the other World Series. His other teammates might, like Leon Punk and all that, but this is his pretty much debut in this sort of lobby, at least on a broadcast. So we are seeing something really nice out of them. But when it comes to predictions, Contra, are you going to go with either one of the BTRs?
Yeah, why not? Just put that logo BTR up there. I'm not gonna tell you whether it's Knights or so, because like, yeah, the logo's pretty much the same, right? But of course, that being said, BIGETRON Knights, they've been looking super sharp heading into this tournament. I wonder if they can do the same moving to Miramar.
Okay. So Contra is locking. You got to make a decision, right? Because it's not fair. You have a higher chance of getting your prediction right. Yeah. You got to lock it in.
Okay, yeah, it's Knights anyway. So, yep.
Okay.
That being said, we'll just write there BTR. So, what about you? Like, of course, early on, you were hoping to see a whole lot of Grounded Bros. Are you going to change up your answers moving to Miramar?
Yeah, let's switch it up. Why not, right? Why go with the same old? Let's give an opportunity to the other teams. I'm liking what I'm seeing from ASI8 though. So let's lock the Pakistani team in. Let's go.
There we go. ASIA. They've definitely shown up really strong into that very first matchup. And if they weren't exactly flushed by those members of BIGETRON NG, we would have actually seen ASIA to be part of that spectrum between the top three. And even up to now, they are currently being in very poised position. While production says this is Team Falcons' turn to shine, which before the break, I did mention the Mongolian squads. They look great in Miramar.
Yeah, production is going for another big boy, right? Earlier was Formidable Vibes, now Falcons, and well, I mean, production really wants to win the points here. Okay. But we're still in 1-0. Totally understandable. I mean, it's the first game. Even us at desk and also production behind the scenes, they're also trying to get a feel of like what kind of lobby are we going to see, because it's the first game with this lobby, with this slightly different format of playing 4 games, no Sandhawk. And yeah, at least we got a preview. So now I guess we're starting to shape our predictions to be a bit more objective. Now coming into Miramar, of course, this is going to be a fresh new map for this lobby to be playing together in. And earlier on, even though it was in ERANGEL, it's a fairly big map, but we still saw early fights. Would you expect the same for Miramar?
I would expect maybe certain teams will be going into certain battles, especially if they're fighting around areas like St. Martin as well as Hacienda. That is very likely we'll get to see a little bit of battle taking place. Or in that, I'm unsure whether we will see a battle taking place around Minas Gerais. That's another spot where a lot of teams like to fend off, or if you would have actually reflected back into certain regions. I think like squads like STE, Formidable Vibes, or even say FAZE Clan, Vampire Esports, they're definitely looking at certain hotspots out there to claim for their own. So this is where they get to establish it. So we shall see as we will take a good look at the flight path. Does it allow for these kind of hot drops to happen?
Yes, and we are flying in, ladies and gentlemen. I can see Impala El Azhar. Looks like it's going to come from maybe somewhere on the right to the south. Okay, yeah, there you go. Just on the right of El Azhar, it's going to end onto Lost Egos. So we're going to get some teams potentially hot drop. There's a potential hot drop here since the fly path is skewed towards the right side, and teams might just opt for like, okay, let's just drop in any of the nearest towns that will and just start our game.
That could very well be the plan right now, and we'll probably see a couple of battle for vehicles as well, since this flight path is so skewed towards the south side. So certain teams, they are definitely looking for a little bit more of an extension to get into their usual region, whether if that being Power Grid, whether that's going to be slightly past areas like Monte Nuevo. They could definitely have to pick certain options out there. Definitely looking out for those hard spawn of those vehicles while we're already getting VOIN Donkey directly into Impala. Now, take a close look over onto that passage from inside of R2. Well, I see that there's going to be a little bit of extension. We might actually see a little bit of a collapse later on, but seemingly it's not too much of a big deal at the moment, as we have plenty of teams actually inside Los Leones.
Yeah, and the circle happened to be around that area as well. So it's going to be a okay circle as a start. Our Los Leones is big enough to house like up to 3 teams. So as long as we have 3 there, should be all right. So Team Secret, we have ASI8 and Alliance in there. Harame Bros is just on the outside though. So I wonder if Harame Bros will want to play it actively to try to crash in. And by the way, Harame Bros this time around, they are playing with 4 players. So it's nice to see them playing as a full squad. Even though they play as a trio, we did see a good game by Federales. So if they are in here as a full squad, we might see a upgraded version of Harame Bros. But first, let's check out what's happening here. D Xavier and ASI8.
Oh, Levi's barely have any space to work with that Molotov dropped in very early. A very technical battle coming in as ASI8 goes in for the full shred. It's Devil quickly getting tapped out by Lamborghini, cheekily holding over on corner doors, and it's going to use Yam. That will come in with a response as well. It's a 1-for-1 blow, and a lot of bodies now hit the ground. Museum now has the nade. Lobs perfectly into that corner, but it seems like there's barely enough of these angles for him to work with. But here comes Levi's, bringing out that DB as he's ready to take charge, trying to get all the way up there. Well, they have definitely held on very well for the rest of the members of DX, but as I do say that, it is a quick catch over on the side of Power Jet. Another beautiful knock coming from Falak. They always clear these angles.
Oh, shotguns galore, ladies and gentlemen. But the fight's not over yet. Look who has arrived. It's going to be Alliance. They want a piece of this pie as well. Lamborghini is going to be the final member of the Xavier. He now has 2 elimination points. But right below him is going to be Falak. Falak, let's go up to the next floor. He managed to land a shot on the Falak. Falak damage, goes up to the top floor just to heal himself up. Same goes for Lamborghini.
And there's only so little space left. DX, we're down to only a member left, and here comes the rest of Alliance, paying them a little bit of visit, but they definitely need to respect some space for the moment. But as I do say that, very quick movement coming in from the rest of Alliance, as they are also hunting out for Falak. All follow through the door. He's good for 2, but not enough.
And 2 teams eliminated back-to-back. Now Alliance needs to reset quickly because there's another team incoming onto them, and that's going to be Team Secret. And on Picado, we're going to have STALWART Esports here, sharing the same area with FaZe Clan, playing as a full squad this time. As Jiro, he senses someone just behind this door, and only if you can have a good clear shot. That knife is not going to do much, but yeah, but maybe try to, confuse his opponents with that.
Since he's wearing that corn suit, he's easily sticking out, but he's definitely going out there, charging towards Sakura. Oh, the doors are being brought right through. The double akimbo finally brought to light by the member of FaZe Clan. That's the very first time I've seen this weapon in play, actually. Here on the global stage, he's making it work.
Well, it's a scrim. You can experiment with anything. But Ventura is definitely not experimenting. He just took out Fearless. Now, Team Secret tried to go up. Second ball, Flax is still there. Flax got knocked out by GK. And now they will move up further to find the other members of Alliance. As now Soas now will lead the charge together with his other teammate. One knock on the GK, but GK should be able to be picked back up as Soas. Another knock. Taking out Kasim, and that is going to be Alliance. Eliminated at number 14.
How many battles happened in the stairwells throughout the whole course of Los Leones? And also, mind you, this is the very first time that I've seen so many of these teams so eager to battle inside of Los Leo, where usually, in tournament runs, you'll just have these teams just slowly dispersing, not really wanting to take those fights. But, this being a scrim, everybody is really testing their limits on what could be the possibilities when they do go in for those engagements. And that area of play seemingly to be the most hectic out of it all.
Yeah, you're right. It's a rare occasion, right? At the start, teams just go at each other inside Los Leones. Normally we'll see a gentleman's agreement, but this time not. But it's okay. I mean, we get as viewers early action for us to enjoy, and the action's not stopping yet though. Back on the Picado right now. FaZe Clan is trying to flush out the remaining members of their opponent in this town, and we do have STALWART Esports last player there, and basically they somehow have an idea, so now they're going to go in, rush on to him.
There's only so little space left. And how much can be done right here as they all march above. That was a good double, but sad to say that the pump shotgun can only offer so much in that regards. If it was a DPS, that could have been a full wipeout as well. So good notion coming from a member of SE, and I guess 2 points is better than nothing.
Well, looks like the fight in Lost Learners is not over yet. HARAME Bros, who started on the outskirts of Lost Learners, decided to come in, and now they're trying to find the members of Team Secret. Circle-wise, Lost Learners is still in it, so it does make sense for them to still try to flush out whichever team that's still in here. But what's going to be interesting is going to be the northern side. We've got FALCONS there together with RRQ side by side with each other, traveling into the circle.
Yeah, they might actually see a little bit of a hectic run over up against each other. But I'm even more intrigued on whether if we do actually get all the squads of Lost Learners to settle the scores. Now it's only between HARAME Bros as well as the rest of what seemed to be Alliance earlier. But of course, it was taken over by another squad, which was perhaps Team Secret. I gotta quickly recall, but liking what I'm seeing in the very first phase of the circle, we're already getting 4 squads being sent out. Not something that you always see in your typical Miramars. Speaking of which, Alter Ego having Rosemary being picked off by none other than Federal as the sharpest shooter of the Philippines is definitely showing up huge in this map.
Well, and it was a worthwhile fight for them to take because now the circle is still within Lost Learners. Lots of teams at the northern side will need to travel into the circle. We got at least 4 teams in it by now. And on the left side of the circle, BTR will come in, so it will be an easy entry for them. Same goes for Roy. No other challenges there. Now it'll be interesting to see what happens with the traveling teams up north.
Over the northern side, they have yet to really found a safe refuge at the very least. So for the moment, no casualties. So I do assume them to be having a decent run, especially when you have all these terrains to work with to get a little bit of cover off. For Miracle Vibes, back in game 1, having a little bit of a tough run in, but they did manage to get a whole lot of points through those efforts, taking down the rest of the members of FaZe Clan, but now finds himself still with plenty of ridges as well as areas to cover. They don't really want to commit into those regions of Lost Leones just yet. Whereas for VOIN Donkey, it's been a slow start to the day. So far, only bagging 2 points from that previous run. Alter Ego constantly being chased by HARAME Bros, as they've been really showing their fangs so early into this matchup. But we like to see that coming from HARAME Bros.
Yeah, since they're playing as the full squad, right? In the previous round, they were playing as the trio, so it was understandable why they played a bit more passive. We only saw them towards the mid stages, but this time, as a full squad, they seem to be pretty confident. They left Lost Learners to go out. Perhaps they're looking for a hunt because they saw teams earlier on. On the elimination feed, 9 Noise just got East. And East, the point stolen away by Ruthless from Pubg Vibes.
Oh boy, quick snack at that as well. While Miracle Vibes hunts out for more as they do knock another member out there. This one coming from FaZe Clan, while exchanges are happening right through these field side. VOIN Esports also intercepting as well, as that is ASAP coming in from the rest of BIGETRON NG to also be knocked right out in the open. All these players really do smell blood and they will take claim. Alpha next one to be knocked out there. If we take a look at the feed, well, we have VOIN Esports being a little curious. Perhaps they want to get deeper into the position to also join in the party.
Well, we have Range here going up against Alter Ego. The other players of HARAME Bros around the corner as well, but Range is going to hold the front line. Nades will be set across. Federales. A bit of elevation for him. He's going to take this off angle onto Alter Ego. But Alter Ego, they got the first hand here onto HARAME Bros. HARAME Bros still with Alter Ego. Without the circle this time. Circle shifted towards the left. So this fight needs to end.
Definitely needs to be wrapped up. There's still a tough reach for them to really get those angles off. Range, though, however. Tries to see if he could just go in for a big wrap around. It's going to be the Rosemary that will be cutting right across as he will just go head-to-head. Range actually gets a little bit of supplementary shot coming in from Federales, and he's able to seal the deal as well. Oh, this is a big fight won by HARAME Bros.
Oh, it absolutely is. Up against Alter Ego. They only lost Jappy in the process, but they still maintained 3 of their players to wipe out Alter Ego. But Alter Ego is not done yet, though. We got Hans for you here. Final member of Alter Ego going in for the chase. And he wants to try to seek revenge. Okay, he sees one. It's going to be Downs. Okay, not sure if that's a new player or, as usual, one of the players just changing their name. But anyway, Hans now up against a range just right in front of him. And Nate will be sent across on the Hans. Hans will do the rush. Trying to avoid that Nate. At the same time, puts himself in the close quarters combat with his opponent. But shots come in from the other side. Now he does have a good clear shot off range. And range will punish him for that.
Yeah, this was beautifully executed by HARAME Bros. Take a look at that. They gotten so many points out of the effort. They took out the entire squad of Alter Ego. And it wasn't just all about Federales. You saw even Range. He is really went in to rack up those points to be secured. And that was the last stand for Nebeko running out in the open like that. Will be easily spotted by Musi. So far having those 2 points. But my. What a showing it has been for the PMCL champions.
Yeah, so far so good for them. As they currently pick up 5 elimination points. And soon they'll be picking up placement points as well because we got only 10 more teams to go. Now that we're in stage number 3. Long range by Apex on 4 medical 5s, putting back pressure onto FaZe Clan, telling them don't come here because we are king of the hill.
You have a lot of area of coverage up here in the north, doing just about enough to really force the rest of FaZe Clan to wrap the far side over onto the eastern corner map. While doing so, somehow, 9 Noise actually catches onto Nuzi, getting a beautiful headshot. It's been 3 eliminations so far for 9 Noise.
Ooh, and that's going to be Vampire Esports losing 1 player, now playing as a trio. 9 Noise looking for more though. Vampire Esports on the other side, but still, Vampire Esports, they're on the inner side circle. The circle will definitely shift in a couple more seconds. And Vampire Esports not have the advantage against FaZe Clan.
Yeah, they've been getting all these angles, but they're also wide out in the open. Now down to Venturis, I do believe, that's trying to stay afloat. Well, that's actually not Venturis. Meanwhile, over on the side of Vampire Esports, they should get this easy picking on the outskirts. Speaking of which, there we go. Schweppes confirms it. 3 points in. Vampire is absolutely gating out the rest of FaZe Clan from moving right in. The classic battle between some of the Thai Titans continues on in this format. While Fukif, on that last game, looking sharp as ever. He had to find a point, but we have known that this man has been super impactful in most of the games that he plays out for the entire squad of Vampire Esports. Whereas, realistically, what could FaZe Clan do this time? Zones closing in, barely any region to work with. I believe there's also close to no vehicles for them to also make a wraparound. There is that golden sports car that they could just hop right in, but it's going to be a little rather risky.
And Vampire Esports still locking them out. Playing without Tony K though. So far so good for them. And all they need to do right now is just wait. But they also need to be aware of the presence of Falcon on their right. But even Falcon is interested to try to take out FaZe Clan.
Yes, they do. There we go. Falcons, like you said, spots out their movement, forcing FaZe Clan to play by the blue zone. It's definitely going to hurt their chances moving inbound, but there's definitely no way that they could actually move away from the crosshairs of Team Falcons if they were to journey their way directly from that area of play. So they try to take the safer way round, while Icy sees Schweppes. It's about time he opens fire. Yes, he does, but the sprays does whip a little bit. Connects a couple of shots. As we will see more of all these resources to be spent towards the side of Vampire Esports as Murder goes in for that direct push, getting an insane spray. And they should be closing right through, but they should spot out the rest of Vampire Esports on the lower ridge too.
And here comes the push here. They do have the high guy advantage. Baseman still not out of it just yet. And Murders, aka Top, will get a double knockdown back-to-back, eliminating FaZe Clan at number 10. They take home 7 elimination points in this round, but the fight's not over yet. Vampire Esports on the lower ground. Stone will toss his nade across. Stone takes a bit of damage, immediately retreats back to the house to reset.
Wow, what a spray that was. Back towards Murder. You sprayed that through and smoked as well. Now Vampire Esports have to play this one very defensively, being spotted out by Murders. Still going for the push. Still seeing some shots coming in from another different alternate angle. And this doesn't look easy at all. There's 9 more teams, but somehow this feels like it's the final 3 remaining for some reason. And Icy will just preemptively cook up that nade to try to squeeze it through the windows. Might be able to actually catch on to Flukov, but he's actually pushing up the hills. So it's definitely going to be a tough one to land. Icy now expecting them to make a run across these corners. Murder's also holding on to another angle. I honestly don't see a way out for these members of Vampire Esports unless they get that opener shot.
Yeah, and just because it's all these big name teams, right? That's how it feels like the finale. But it might be the finale for them because the circle shifted away. Team Falcons still not letting go of Vampire Esports. Icy with high ground advantage. The smoke is blinding him though, but Top comes in for the side to get the 1 knock on the Stone. And now it's going to be the final member of Vampire Esports, Fluke! And he got taken out. I mean, it was on the lower ground. It was tough for him anyway. Team Falcons comes up on top.
Yeah, good fight coming in from Vampire Esports, though it is an expected outcome with the Team Falcons really not letting them off the hook at all. So, very clean plays coming in from Falcons as they are currently with 6 points, moving up the charts right now. Ever since that FaZe man have also crashed out slightly earlier. Now, we do get a little bit of good views over onto Voxy. This is one play that I've seen play before. And same goes to Hans Schill as well. So, rather interesting to also see them once again trying to make great impressions heading into this matchup. As a matter of fact, BIGETRON and G, they're the ones with better amount of players left in the map, while their big brothers only have 1 player left. Murders, and it still goes in for more. This time challenging Federalis and actually winning out that trade. Wonder what happens there. The Murders get spotted out. Range tries to give a little bit of a trade right back. That thing goes a little too fast for them to actually do too much. Unless the Murders goes in a wraparound. Great prediction coming from Range, but shots fired back. This is actually coming in from Team Secret.
Ooh, a long range there to get the knock, but not able to secure the elimination point yet. Perhaps a Top, aka Murder, will want to secure that one. Yes, he will. He'll take it out of range. And he has made his appearance here. He needs to save Icy though, but at the same time, he needs to manage the 2 remaining members of Harame Bros. Now, Icy is bleeding out with about 10% more of health. And he goes in for the pickup there. He has to make this quick. Federa is closing in on to Murder, aka Top. And Top jumps. Top, 10% of health left. He will not lose this fight. Beautiful 1v1. Even though he only has 10% of health. Now it's within Top and Federalis. Oh,
he's absolutely on the rampage. Meanwhile, on the outskirts is Apex here, stealing the spotlight away from Murders. But oh boy, for America vibes now they get a lot of entry space into the zone. Now looking for the final target. They've heard all that ruckus and will go in to try to take down Murders. But we've seen how much he could have actually done. They gotta really respect this fight up against him though. Pushing forward 1 versus 3. Will they actually make a miracle run against For Miracle Vibes?
Oh man. 1v at least 2 for now. And they're closing on him. But looks like Arrow decided to like, okay, I'll just take a point inside the circle while you guys finish off top. But it's top we're talking about here. He's able to pull off a clutch. Circle did move away from this warehouse, and top being shot at. Down to 40% of health, immediately heals up. 2 more first aids left after this one.
And he's playing this with so much caution as well. The only problem is the zone is going to be shrinking towards this area of the warehouse. And that member of For Miracle Vibes is holding him to the doorways, taking it up close and personal. Great jump shot and even better recovery coming from Murder. Apex now getting taken down. Another member of For Miracle Vibes also being knocked. This could be a good opportunity for Team Falcons to eventually close it up. But Team Secret, they got plans of their own. They want to be the one to take down Murder. Murder so far on the 7th street, looking for number 8. Insane, incredible spray down, but not enough, as that is BTR to take them down.
And the fact that Top could survive this long, it's amazing if you ask me. I mean, there were like so many teams wanting his head, but he's still able to fend them off and finally went up. But still, Falcons, they scored 11 elimination points before they were eliminated. So that is impressive by itself.
Yeah, Top, impressive as always. And you saw all these teams try to ego challenge him. He wins those trades. Like, it was unreal, very surreal. While we still have more to go. Roy Esports right now closing up against the member of VOIN, Donkey. Is he going for the nade exchange? Reza will run the other way round. Plus misses the opportunity. Well, this could still be a very decent chance, but they will definitely have to consider all the spaces that they need. And as I do say that, VOIN Donkey unfortunately goes out with 0, but they do have some placement points at number 5.
Well, without the top 4 teams right now, and the music is up, ladies and gentlemen, at stage number 6. In about a minute, 10 more seconds, we will see where the circle will go at stage number 7. So far, Roy will stay clear of the other teams, and Roy is the only team with a full squad, so they have a good chance of scoring this chicken dinner. But we have movement up north. I believe it's from Team Secret. They're spreading out within the middle of the circle, trying to push back all these teams to the corner.
They're definitely garnering a whole lot of that control right at this very moment. Secret, surprisingly, they've lasted so long with these two members after those big battles that take place inside of Los Leones. For Esports now, unwilling to wait much longer as they're hoping to choke out the rest of Team Secret. Secret now being spotted out. That bullet being sent his way. SOAS now holding by the outskirts. This is not going to be easy at all, but so long as they can stand tall, there's still some time to be played out. Porsche got caught out by Aero from the other sector of the ridges.
By the player, full vertical vice now being shot at. Gotta be extra careful. He does have his buggy to give him extra cover, and now he will take time to heal up. Lots of teams around him. Shunos will be the next one to fall. This side the hands on Foxy on BTRNG. Circle. That's me with BTR, but the nade came from across. And guess who it was? It was Sticks, who came up with a grenade elimination of the Juke.
And they're once again having that same form of consistency moving into this final tree of the battle. BIGETRON NG is definitely up for the task. I'm glad at least I put BIGETRON up there, though it's actually on lights. So here we go. Stitch might be able to actually find a decent push up against Team Secret, and I want to commend on Team Secret. This is also another round that they've been consistent moving into the top 3. Of course, with a new one joining in the top 3, that is Roy Esports, now currently taking that battle up against Boxy. The other 2 members rock up towards the longhouse, trying to challenge Tuss. Smokes now being popped right in. They do have plenty of deflates to work with. They can take their sweet time. But here we go. As SOAS tries to give a little bit of a helping hand, but quickly gets seeked out by Hanschil. So he's only down to 1 member left inside of Roy Esports, and Stitch will sort it out.
Well, Team Secret make it into the top 2, an improvement from the previous round, but BTRNG still consistent as well. Let's not forget about them. Now it's about wrapping up the chicken dinner. So far, Sticks will be knocked down by SOAS. This could be the opportunity to go in. And yes, they are moving in. Break will be the first one to arrive into this compound. SOAS will play the support role behind.
Very clean so far from Team Secret. The mids being exchanged 1 for 1. Well, there's plenty of time to go in for the pickup, but seemingly enough, Voxy is not gonna go and secure that. So SOAS gets his chance, claims that point. So it becomes an absolute 2 versus 2.
Yes, a 2v2 is going to be equal right now. But when it comes to map control, it's going to be Team Secret. Look at the spread. And we still got stage number 8. Very likely they'll get the next phase of the circle. And yes, they will. And this time, the ball is on BTRNG's court on how they want to overcome Team Secret.
I guess what Team Secret has got going is that off angle right now, in which Break now taking that challenge and wins the duel. Have very little help to work with Han Shield now getting started out. 1 HP left. He's wondering where exactly is it being fired from. SOAS now gets a little bit of the upper hand, but he's running out in the open. This is going down to this 1v1 duel. Secret versus BIGETRON NG on top to Haas right in. Forces him out of position, and they're just ringing around Rosie. One's going to be able to get those resets off. I believe that he's going for that revive up for Voxy. This allows room for the side of SOAS to go in for the push. This could be a decent opportunity, but the revive should be set right through. It could very well be a 1 versus 2 at this very moment. Yes, it will be. And now, Hans dealing with the DBS. Back to a 1 versus 1.
Voxy.
Shot fired. And this
Voxy.
is a recovery. BTRNG. They got the chicken dinner.
Well, BTR back-to-back, technically that is. And this time, it's going to be BTRNG, the academy team of BIGETRON themselves, to score the chicken dinner. They got a second place earlier on, and now they scored the chicken dinner. This is consistency at its making.
Yeah, it was definitely a great effort displayed by Team Secret, but once again, falling short in this top 2 finish. But they have definitely gotten just about good points. But it's been all day, every day, BIGETRON right now, as they have gotten themselves the first chicken dinner. If you guys were thinking, hey, we got the BIGETRON chicken dinner earlier, that's actually a different team. You guys just tuned in. But look at the damage done. Exceptional finish. And that save onto Voxy was the pivotal point that turned the tides around.
Yeah, if he didn't get that save, the results might be different. Because he was on fire. He actually got that first knock, and the follow-up came in, and well, it was a 1v2 scenario, so it was a bit hard for him to score that chicken dinner. But nevertheless, Team Secret, not too bad. I mean, it's still 2 consistent rounds for them as well. A 3rd place, and now a 2nd place. It's okay for them. But of course, the more consistency, without a doubt, is going to be BTRNG, and they're sending their resume to the coach for them to be in the main lineup with this sort of performance.
Yeah, it's like, yep, Big Bro's got the first chicken dinner, so have we right now. So the main guy that we've been focusing on in those battles was Top, who's gotten 7 massive points, and the damage is just impeccable. 1,360 by himself, where certain squads wish they could put out the same sort of work rate that he has.
Man, this guy, so many teams wanted his hit, but he's able to fend them off, and at the same time able to gain elimination points out of those teams. And that's how he came out with 7 eliminations just by himself. I mean, this guy is definitely at the top of the world right now. And his other contenders for the top performance scene, we got Ranger from HARAME Bros, Hans Chill from BTRNG, and as well as a 9 Noise from FAZE Clan. So all 3 of them having 4 eliminations each. But of course, when it comes to the total eliminations, the damage, even the team contribution, it's all towards Top.
How to even match these numbers, man? Like, Top, he's basically getting double what everybody else have done so far. And we definitely do want to see a whole lot more out of Team Falcons. They did manage to get at least the 3rd highest points in this lobby with those 11 pointer. Of course, the biggest victors were BTRNG with those 20 points, whereas Team Secret have remained to be super consistent from what they've been able to actually show us so far. Roy Esports follows suit with 9 points and 8 for Magical Vibes, where we are getting a very decent start for everybody, while STE was just very unlucky in the early game.
Yeah, the only team with a 0 point from this round, so it's just too bad for them. But yeah, we still have not only today, ladies and gentlemen, but also tomorrow. But nevertheless, this is a scrim. It's a warm-up for the actual Night of Champions tournament happening in 2 days' time. Overall rankings, that is, no surprise. BIGETRON NG, they are number 1 right now with 33 points, being the most consistent team of them all. The big brothers, BIGETRON Knights, is now at number 2, 24 points. And Team Secret, also very consistent, number 3 with 20 points.
Yeah, and definitely is a race between both BIGETRON side, but how top-heavy this has been for these teams that have been able to at least stash these first couple of wins, as well as consistent record coming from NG Knights, as well as Team Secret finds themselves up there. And of course, even ASIA, they were enlisted for those very early battles taking place inside Los Leo. Now let's take a look at the other side of the page. Harame Bros really making a mark right now, searching 5 spots up. Elias doing much better back as compared to back in game 1. Alter Ego area is still warming up, I do believe, but eventually all these teams will get themselves in that perfect shape for the finals.
And because of a 0 point round for STALWART Esports in game number 2, so now they're at number 16 with only 2 points. But we still have games more to go, ladies and gentlemen, so anything can still happen here. But so far, the night has been red. The night has been dominated by BIGETRON, Knights, and also NG. But the night's not over yet. So many nights here. We're going to take a break, ladies and gentlemen. When we're back, it will be ERANGEL. So do not go anywhere. See you guys in a bit.
Wow, what an opening 2 games that we've had here our scrims of Night of Champions. So far being dominated by 2 different sides of BIGETRON. We got the BIGETRON Knights and the BIGETRON NG, both bagging a chicken dinner each. And of course, the race is still pretty much on, where we have good showing coming from Team Secret, and that pop-off performance coming from Top, that was outstanding out of Team Falcons.
Yeah, no doubt. He kind of stole the show away, right? But of course, because we have 2 BIGETRON logos up there, it's apparent that, BIGETRON right now is in the driver's seat. And so happened, both of the BIGETRON teams, they are up there in the top number 1 and number 2. So it's interesting to see that not only the main roster, but also the academy team is able to perform even arguably better than the main roster as of now, that is. But of course, we got 2 more games to go tonight, and then tomorrow we will have another 4 more games before we decide who's going to be the Scrim King for the season, until we move on to our main event later on. But before we go back onto ERANGEL, we're going to do our due diligence here in the Ruthless Hype Esports series. And who will be your next pick?
You know, looking at that performance coming from Murders, aka Top, I just can't help but to go ahead and lock it right in. Team Falcons are definitely getting into shape, so I think to break the streak, it has to be them.
All right, so contrast locking in Falcons. Okay, so I want to go to cliche this time, right? Since you have had the taste of BTR, you almost got it right, but it's the other BTR. So it's my turn to have a feel of it. Let's lock in BIGETRON Knights. Boom.
Ooh. Still another BTR, so every single round, I guess we could just rotate around, but I say it's absolutely fair. Look at how well they perform in Miramar. They were outstanding, or should I even say back in game 1. I mean, both sides of the BTRs have been looking really, really good. The production team says, you know what? We're feeling a little tied today, so let's go for FaZe Clan. Well, being a fair shot, we've seen a lot coming from Vintores and Co. Though I definitely want to see a little bit more of action between these members of FaZe Clan. They were dealing with a situation against Vampire Esports. I believe even Falcons got in the way, but it was definitely a worthwhile fight while it lasted so far inside Miramar. But the good news is they don't have to deal with all these crazy terrains right now. They go to something a little bit more familiar as we do make a return back to ERANGEL.
Yeah, it was not because they were locked out by a few teams early on, including Vampire Esports, and then at some point it was Falcons. Then they probably would have lasted a little bit longer, but because of like what you said, right? Terrain in Miramar is rough, it's tough, and I can totally understand that. Coming back to somewhere that's more familiar, maybe that is what FaZe Clan will be looking forward to. And plus, when they played the first ERANGEL, they played as a trio. This time they should be playing as a full squad, so we might see a very different outcome here for FaZe Clan. So productions pick pretty hard as well.
Yeah, they're definitely pretty in tune on what's really going on with the stats and everything else. I know they're definitely keeping their eyes really closely. Based on the data, it should be just about right that maybe FaZe 9 could actually be the next one stepping to the occasion. So, of course, we can only make assumptions out there. You guys, too, in the chat, if you guys are just tuning in, welcome to the show. Make sure you hit that sub as well as like button, as we will offer you plenty of all these great action, as we have invited some of the best PUBG Mobile team in the world to compete for the title, and who's going to be the kings of the Night of Champions.
Yeah, so, but we only know the kings by tomorrow. But of course, for tonight, that is so far looking good for anyone of the BTRs. But since we only played like 2 games, the points are still close enough. One good round from any other team close by, it could switch the top team's standings. So that could happen. But let's also forget, like on page number 2, we do have big teams awkwardly on page number 2. And I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be happy with the fact that, their name is on page number 2. No. That's not their spot. So we might see another surprise here coming in from any of those teams from that side of the overall charts, because these are all amazing teams. You cannot write anyone out.
Yeah, they definitely do look great. And
at any given point in time, you will definitely see certain teams to be able to surge to the top. And that being said, I'm still keeping my eyes onto names like ASI8, where if they could still put up another strong showing, because last time they played here inside of ERANGEL, they looked super hot. And I'm pretty sure that certain teams that were looking a little cold, especially like Alter Ego for this entire evening, they should be able to get back on track. And we got 10 seconds from now to see what do they offer to the table.
Yeah, that's a good point on Alter Ego, right? Like, as a start, they seem to be pretty hot, but then they cool off pretty quickly as well. Let's see what sort of Alter Ego will we get right here, ladies and gentlemen, in our second ERANGEL match for tonight, and also game number 3 overall in this season's Scrim version on the Pubg Mobile Ruthless Night of Champions.
That's right. And right after this, we still have another round to go. Tomorrow, there will be definitely a whole lot more games. If you want to continue to see how your favorite teams perform, make sure you guys stay tuned with, or just basically drop a subscribe where you'll be able to get notified whenever the feed comes live. Now, this is a very fair flight path. It starts from Isnaya all the way into Primos, where even an extension to the islands is absolutely possible. So I like what I'm seeing. There's not going to be too drastic of a difference of how teams will play out as in comparison back into what game 1 looked like. But I'm looking at a stretch coming from Alter Ego as well as Stalwart Esports. Is this a direct hot drop that I'm looking at here, Sir Cloud?
Ooh, inside the Povka. That would be interesting, though. Stalwart Esports, last we saw them, they were at the last place, number 16, so they definitely want to get out of that, but they have to win the fight against Alter Ego, a team that so far today we have seen them doing well at the beginning of a match. And we're going to zoom right in here on our mini screen. The fight is definitely happening while we await the first circle to arrive here. Not only that, look at Pachinki. We have Harame Bros overlapping a D-Xavier in there.
Oh boy. I guess this is definitely going to be a rowdy run around the fields of Gatka. Inside Pachinki, we will have that fight happening between some of all these players of Harame Bros alongside with, I can't really tell which team exactly was that, but we'll take a closer look as it's only Alter Ego Aries just holding on the outskirts, trying to spot some movements coming from the rest of STE as we focus onto what's on the center stage. It is going to be one of the top C teams versus the champions of PMCL from the Philippines, and that is Harame Bros.
And here we go. The fight might erupt anytime soon, but because it's an urban warfare, so it might take a while. But that's absolutely okay. I'm sure these teams wouldn't want to go out early, because if not, it will be rather a long wait for the final match for tonight. So both teams want to stamp their dominance here inside of Pachinki. In fact, if we look at their respective regions in the PMCL, Harame Bros normally drops here. And in the PMSL, D-Xavier drops here too. So it's a bit of a tussle here for one of the most valuable spots in ERANGEL.
It definitely is a very powerful spot wherever you rotate from that initial stage. Like, Pachinki is always surrounding certain areas on its center, so this is definitely a very big battle that we'll see taking place over the course of the weekend as well. So for now, it's all about establishing that control. Alter Ego Aries now getting rushed to the corners as Boychill will be trying to pull out all alone. While Gas to just hold it true with also some help from Rosemary from the outskirts as they try to seek one member out of STE through the smokes. Unable to actually find it, but some damage has been done so far. Boys still feeling very, very confident to take them on as they will have that tag team duo rushing right through. Han secures it.
Giro is one place for STE to be eliminated. STE now only 2 players left. And Alter Ego, they're looking for the other remaining members. Sanche is on the other side though. And Fearless on the other building, so they're quite spread out right now. Alpha 7 sees exactly where Fearless is at, waiting for backup to arrive. He does have a micro Uzi, one of the better weapons to use in a close combat situation, but not really going in yet. Okay, now the close is clear. Gets down to the building. Probably going to rush down to the second floor. Okay, he knows that he's in that room though. Micro Uzi first spray, immediately reloads, and now he will focus back on Sanche, or maybe he will try to hold on Fearless while his team is finished up the job. But Hans knocked out by Sanche. The follow-up happen here by Rosemary. Rosemary knock as well. Wait, double knockdown back to back.
That was crazy. He was just hugging the corner wall, and right now the rest of these Alpha members tries to go in. Burst fire coming in from the M16. Sanchez now seeks them out. It's only down to Elva. 1v1 with that Micro Uzi while he's got that M249 to do all the damage possible.
Oh man, this could be a big comeback win here by STALWART Esports. Sanche is able to pull off a win against Alpha 7.
Crossbow?
A crossbow? Okay, I want to see a crossbow elimination, not gonna lie there, but I'm pretty sure that he is going to prioritize his M249. Not fully stocked up. He only has what he has, but Boyju will be picked up by Alpha 7. Okay, it might be a 2v1, but okay, come on, Sanche, bring out the crossbow. We want to see that.
I want to see a headshot with that crossbow. It's going to be a confirmed knock. But hey, there's going to be another team moving around the vicinity as well. I believe that to be RRQ, so he cannot afford to wait for far too long. And he will respect that space. It's really down to the rest of Alter Ego Esports to see whether if they're going to be pushing out. And once they do, it's just going to be a safe towards Rosemary, which is absolutely the right move. No grenades whatsoever in the back of Sanchir. And it's very unlikely that he's going to do much here until RQ decides to move deeper into these corner of the room. He's considering the crossbow already. Okay, you got to reload first, my guy. There you go. One crossbow is all you have.
And the crossbow takes forever to reload. That's one thing. And Rosemary is back up.
Same goes to the M249 as well. He's going for the craziest setup.
True enough. So yeah, I mean it's a choice now for him. M249, his bullets are not that many though. But inside of Pachinko, so okay, back on Sanche. Okay, Sanche gets one, taking out Rosemary. 2 more to go. The blue is putting pressure onto them. Sanche does not have any first aids.
Yeah, he's just basically relying on his sure firepower. I still want to see if he could actually get this crossbow done, but he does not really have those bullets left. And there you go. The typical shotguns through these doorways. We'll find it. But it was a spectacular performance coming from Sancho. He could have actually secured the fight if RQ did not arrive to the scene. Speaking of which, Fnatic now pushing through. And they're definitely going to be out for blood. Alpha with a drop shot, but will be seeked out. And Alter Ego falls once more. This time, with 4 points in the bag, at least.
Out RRQ. I guess they came from school. That's a regular draw spot. They went all the way to Lipovka just to get these elimination points when the circle is all the way to the left. We'll talk about that in a little bit more because right now inside the Pachinki, the fight between Harame Bros and the Xavier is still ongoing. Wow, another team has arrived on top of the abandoned church.
It seems like they're really eager to go on for battles right now, but surprisingly, the Xavier haven't really sorted out this commotion that they had up against Harame Bros. Teams are now looking for an exit, as this will presumably be a Gatka type of ending, or it could be somewhere towards the south or the north. Over in the course of Bigetron nights, they're holding around to the ever side of Gatka. Lambo now spots outrage, but those shots whiffed. Oh boy, he's going to be a world of trouble. But he's got that grenade. He should be able to lob it through range. Respecting the distance of the nade, he will fall back right into the city. Zone closes in less than 5 seconds from now. While Lambo continues to be out on the hunt. Look at that flock over onto the outskirts of Pachinki. And wow, look at that ping pong in circle. And suddenly, VP find themselves in the best location possible.
Yeah, look at the spread, right? The regular draw spot in Primos, they even managed to open up around the area quarry now. Then now Falcons have the opportunity to take out FaZe Clan. FaZe Clan is on the outer side, Falcons on the inner side, and this is revenge time for Team Falcons.
Definitely is. Once again, it's top getting that knock. This is FaZe Clan that we've talked about here, but they immediately get spotted by top one for He goes back for a trick. Not enough, though. Nine Noise just slightly sharper on that trade, but the nades are falling right through. Action now goes in for a quick recovery. Only one member left for side of FaZe clan. Nades are also being primed right in. Action taken down. It's a 1v1. I see will save the day. Team Falcons absolutely needed that.
And all of them survive because of IC. Everyone will be able to be revived to back up. Back onto the Xavier versus Harame Bros. Jappy on the lower ground. Parisian has his nade. Federalists on the other side though. Now the fight has to end because they are 1,300 meters away from the circle. No circle at all for them. And Parisian cooking up this nade. He kind of has a hunch that Federalists on the other building, but Federalists went down and out. So that nade will not connect at all.
It's so tough to actually get it right in the compounds of the city. And Dappy does actually get it though. Well, there is a trade going on. There will be a final blow towards the side of Dappy the moment that Harame Bros tries to cut across. Down to Federales here to really make a huge haul of points. Also having range to cover his tracks, but they're already in the zone. But they want to commit to this fight and settles for up against the final member of DX. Lambo comes up ahead, now down to a 1v1.
Oh, Lambo's pretty low as well. Range is pretty healthy, 80% of health. If this nade is able to chip out the health of Lambo, he'll be knocked out and out. But no, not yet. Lamborghini has that space to heal up. Back on to 80% of health. With his trusty S12K reloaded. Now he's preparing for the final fight against the Filipino Terminator. It's the legendary Lamborghini against the new kid on the block, Federales.
Arnold's actually close the doorways. Trying to shred it right through. So technical, so tactical as well, coming in from two of the very finest from each region of the Southeast Asia's champions of their own rights. The Sailor, champion of Vietnam, trying to do as much as they could. Trying to wiggle a little bit of that spacing, but how long more can they actually play out here? I'm looking at Lambo. He's already down to 3 first aid kits. He's trying to close the distance here up against Federales. Quickly goes to wiggle all the way to the back. I wonder if Federales could still track him. Yes, he does. His steps now being hurt. The exchanges goes through. And it's all down to that final shot. Federales hits the mark on the head. And Harame Bros wins out that trade.
Oh, and now they can be considered, well, it's a 1-0. So to a certain extent, it's them calling themselves the king of the Jinky. But Roy Esports going up against one of the BIGETRON teams here in this area. And this is going to be Juke from the side. And that BIGETRON team in front of them, I believe it is BIGETRON, well, BIGETRON NG, I guess. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because the logo is exactly the same. But nevertheless, now Juke cooking up his name. Junos is knocked down, and there are also other teams around this area.
Plenty of teams, as a matter of fact. Those nades now sent towards the side of Voxy. It will clip. Juke perfectly sorted out that member of BIGETRON NG as they are sent off. That means the only other BIGETRON that's currently left is BIGETRON Knights. Well, focus our eyes onto Vampire Esports, also hugging into this corner of Quarry. Vampire, we initially saw them really hugging some of all these great spaces. Having a decent advantage of the zone, but now find themselves also being cornered by all these 3 teams. Taking the center stage while the rest of Roy Esports tries to actually cut through to look for an alternative opening. But it's definitely not an easy compound to breach. But we've seen many of these fights take place before. Speaking of fights, that's Fnatic on to members of ASIA. And upon arrival, Snake really goes out for Red Devil. He's going to be able to secure it only down to Falak. Falak's got not much left in the tank.
Quick move there by Falak. Wow. But he does have the first aid though, but he has to heal up quickly. The other members of RRQ have arrived and they want to take him out. But there's also Falcons here though. And also these 2 teams will say hello to the blue at the same time. East, we run over by Fnatic from RRQ. RRQ is so far in control of the situation. They are on the closer side of the circle anyway.
They definitely are. But there's Just so many of all these players out there still tagging on to each other. Top still finds another one. Snake was on a streak, but he stops the streak happening from the side of RRQ. No Mercy now spots up top, so that's going to be another trade right back there. As these three teams continue to battle, Roy Esports trying to defend up against the rest of BTR. JK now with grenade. Same goes to Zuxi. Tries to get a little bit of that entry space. Nades now falling downwards as he will look for that basement for him to hold out. I think that Zuxi is already known. And here goes. Shots being fired, but the nade perfectly cooked by JK. Finds himself those tiny little room targets going for the quick recovery while Suno has covered him for the time being. Looking for the hole into the basement. Unable to get in. These BTR members really held the doors. Here comes Yuki with another nade, but oh, the timing was perfect.
From the back. But the fight's not over though. Okay, we have Stone here coming in all alone with the SLK. He tries to get a member of BTR, but from behind, it was set up from VOIN. Actually took him out to help out BTR.
Backstab after backstab after backstab, and now Satar absolutely blinded off. That could have actually been a good moment for Leon going for the push, but he's absolutely respecting the space. He does not have any idea at all. The moment he steps right in, Satar has already got the angle for himself. He should be able to supplement Satar. He gets it. He gets to also quickly clear him off. So I don't know if Kasim wants to go in for a challenge 1 versus 1. He will bide his time, and he can go in to restock quickly with all these dead bodies on the ground. While Satar says, okay, close seems clear. Maybe it's time for me to get out.
And Satar now popping up those smokes though. Just to cover his back especially. But I don't think he'll be able to exit. He has to win the fight somehow. Okay, Satar fires. Oh!
What? Through the smoke.
Immediate elimination through the smoke. That is just absolute huge game sense.
That was crazy. Out of all these spots that he could have actually shot as well, directly through that corner. But I guess the smoke kind of give it away as well. But nevertheless, that was a hectic fight. Teams after teams looking for that space alliance have been able to eventually be the big victors out of that fight. Meanwhile, VOIN Donkey has now made it to the top 5. And look at this top 5 scenario. It's only stage 4. We only got 11 players left on the field. The scrim moving quicker and quicker throughout the run. A quick switcheroo coming from No Mercy. Great to actually see him on board. But it's been 10 solid points for RQ this game.
Oh man. This is the fastest round so far. It's crazy right now. Okay, but anyway, Team Secret still pretty consistent. They are now in the top 5. And they are even more consistent than the 2 BTR teams. But let's see how far they can go. So far, they have 3 players. So pretty good right now for Team Secret. And VOIN Donkey circling around. They kind of have a hunch that maybe another team goes by. They want to find their next target on the other side of this hill, of this bomb-based formidable vibes.
Oh boy. This is definitely not an easy task for him to actually cut over the corners. But if they don't spot out Apex now peeking over the side of VOIN Donkey, then it'll be very unfortunate for Apex. But he's going to go out for the spray, unable to connect, and Apex quickly gets taken out by Reza.
Here we go, VOIN Donkey. Reza going in for the rush, but he's being shot at by the other side. It's going to be Ruthless. Okay, Ruthless holding him down. So let's see if he's able to get that elimination point. It's not going to be easy though from this kind of angle on the lower ground and inside the quarry. But look at the minimap. There's movement from other teams as well. They want to end this fast.
Oh, he's going for the jump as well. Oh, this is not going to be a clean angle. And there you go. Beautiful shots coming from the side of Razak. He clears off the entirety of 4 Miracle vibes. And here comes Kasim. He knows that this is a weakened side of VOIN Donkey. He is going to go for a run. While he will actually get one, it's just going to be a hectic swerve, which will still see Reza come up on top. 8 points for VOIN Donkey.
Oh man, VOIN Donkeys So far, so good for them, but then the challenge is going to be even bigger. They have RRQ and Team Secret to face off with. Team Secret down the top 3. They have never let go of the top 3 so far for today. Let's see if they can finally score their chicken dinner up against these 2 Indonesian teams.
I like how serious Team Secret is really taking this stream over the course of the entire evening. They have yet gotten their hands on that chicken dinner, but the chances are very likely now that there is only about teams with less than 4 members on board. But you saw what Reza delivered over on the course of the battle inside of Quarry. You got to respect this man's effort, where even down to a 1v1 like that, he danced around, managed to still connect the shot over on the guy who run in the buggy. That is absurd, I tell you that. But SOAS, though, he's got a hunch of these players of VOIN Donkey being up above. He'll definitely keep close watch onto these players, Bexy as well as Reza.
Bexy with a high ground advantage against SOAS, but he does have a good view. And SOAS does have his teammate GK. Ooh, 1-8 cents just in front of SOAS, but will not connect at all. So they have still a good distance between the 2 of them. Razak is on the left side, not in the fight at all. So it's pretty much a 2v1 now between Team Secret and VOIN Donkey.
It definitely will be the bigger trades right now. I think RRQ is just waiting somewhere for them to eventually pounce onto the target. They should be able to hear all these noise somewhere from a distance. As we can see them from a corner of a mini-map, it's going to be trying there, then finds that opening knock. Nades are now being sent right in. Perhaps he's looking for a denial of points. As we see Nepeko now securing that point, stealing it away from inside of Team Secret. That spray connects. Razak has been insane overall, but that is not going to be enough. A flank angle comes through. RRQ denies any point from a point going in favor of Team Secret, and once again they find themselves in the pickle. Might settle for second yet again, as RRQ does have all 3 members still at play. Here comes the rush coming from the Nepeko, and he's got a P90 on the harder side of his arsenal, and he's going to bring it to play. 50 perfect bullets for him to just quickly going for a spray down.
Here we go. The shots are being fired on. GK will be the next focus of RRQ. So the teammate will need to come and back him up. Trong is on his way though. GK is by this ledge. GK managed to evade the first nade. Second nade will be evaded as well, but now GK will be surrounded. GK gets no mercy. They fire back. Stay with the high ground advantage. Stay with Green low as well. 10% half left. Do we get GK? 1 more to go. And nothing will stop RRQ from claiming this chicken dinner. And so far, it's an Indonesian chicken dinner party night.
It definitely is, and rightfully so on how well they've been performing. But Team Secret, they have been super consistent. It's just sad that they're not rewarded just yet, but I am keeping my hopes up for these guys. But RRQ, they definitely measured up the equation well enough by the end of the game, where they have the numbers advantage. They don't really have to force anything till the other squad settles for. VOIN Donkey was also up and running, where we saw that spectacular performance coming up from the side of Reza. But here we have the full squad of RQ really hard at work. They've gotten quite a number of points in this round, where everybody's offering plenty of damage in this span of round 3.
And though we cannot take away the fact that Team Secret is consistent as well, 2nd place finish for them, and they definitely will be at the number 1 spot. We'll tabulate the scores in a little bit more, ladies and gentlemen, but RRQ, they've been super active this round. And think about it, they went to Lipovka to take out Alter Ego. Out of the circle was all the way on the left side in Gaka, but they still went there, get those eliminations through a third party, rotated all the way back to the Gaka area, and in the grand finale of Kuwari, they scored the chicken dinner.
Yeah, it has been a crazy showing coming from the side of Zeta and Co. But overall, oh, so that guy is Zeta, so Razak is Zeta. Okay, got it. Thank you very much, production crew. Now we actually get a really clear idea on who's who, at the very least. VOIN Donkey, though, Quarry is one of the most difficult regions to play out in the southwestern end of the map, and they definitely show a lot of mastery, but he's been really the backbone of the entire squad. And if we take a close look, actually, oh, that's Razak. So it's not actually a different person. So they actually do match up hand in hand. It's just that Zoo Wings got one extra kill on board, and that's in the Pekko.
Yeah, with 5 eliminations. Not the highest of damage, but still is able to bring in the elimination points for the team, and that is where it all matters, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we gotta have 2 plays on VOIN Donkey there together with Fnatic for RRQ. Also 4 eliminations, so a lot of 4s across the board here, and a lot of 4s when it comes to team contribution from Zeta as well as Razak as well. So that is the numbers here. Most damage is still given to Zeta from VOIN Donkey. Did a lot of work for the team and also still able to bring in the 4 eliminations. So he definitely deserves to be up there. RRQ, total of 14 eliminations, 24 total points this round.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy to know that you've always mentioned they drop into school. Perhaps one of these members drop into the mansion side to get a good idea of what's really happening in Pukka. The spree starts there. They picked up some of all these points coming in from the initial fight that we initially saw over on the course of the corner. And then after that, it's third parties after third parties as well as close combat that they've been able to win. I think Fnatic was doing a really good job getting those players contact, but these points garnered by all these big names out there, Team Secret, Roy, they're definitely keeping up with their maintenance. And despite Team Secret's consistency, they're currently still sitting around 4th. BIGETRON NG still at number 1. RRQ Rio right now surges 8 spots to claim number 2.
I suppose one of the key reasons is that they were not able to gain many elimination points. Like they only had 10 elimination points as compared to the other competitors around them. So that's why they are still at number 4. But yeah, interesting though, as consistent as they are in placement, but it still doesn't bring them that top spot yet, that is. Nevertheless, on page number 2, STALWART Esports is still at number 16, not budging from that spot. Alliance moves up 1 spot, pushing down Vampire Esports. They're currently at number 12. But we have one more game to go, so with the current points collected by these teams, one good round could still push them back onto page 1.
Sure enough, overall, it's been a great Indonesian day out, except for Alter Ego Aries, which haven't really found themselves a footing into these matchups, but I believe that they're not really showing all of their cards just yet. They're probably saving their energy for the finals where, right now it's just a little bit of a test of strength. And perhaps Outer Ego feels like we got nothing that we really have to prove here in some of all these scrims other than maybe certain targets that they really want to achieve to take some of all these titans out. So we shall see what will happen in the very final game. So we'll take a couple of minutes and we'll be right back for our final game of the night.
And go it is, ladies and gentlemen, for final game for tonight. You are now watching the PUBG Mobile Ruthless Night of a Champions here, together with me, Sir Cloud, as well as Contra. And today have been the Indonesian night.
Overall, it's been 3 chicken dinners for Indonesia, but Vietnam has been trolling closely, or should I just say it's always been Team Secret at number 2 for the past 3 games, and they couldn't seem to actually get the job done because they're either outnumbered or the trades just didn't go out their way. So that being said, back in game 1, they were within the top trade ratio, so it hasn't been all the rounds seeing them at that number 2 spot. Overall, it just seems like the teams coming from Indonesia is just looking to be hyper aggressive. So that is just the nature of a tournament so far. Though this being scrims, we are definitely looking at very rapid pace, and teams were very eager to take on those early battles. So now it's time to predict, and I think I've already gotten an idea of who I want to see getting the chicken dinner. I want to see that streak being broken, and it should be a Team Secret game right now, I hope. So lock that right in.
Okay, Contra's good for Team Secret. I mean, at some point you gotta pick the barrier, right? At some point. Okay, I'm gonna go for something very different. Let's lock in here. Okay. Alliance. Bam.
Alliance. Okay.
Alliance. Yeah, very, very different.
I like that because like early on they managed to take that win against BTR, although it was a third party, but hey, that was a really solid fight that they had inside those compounds, which wasn't exactly all too easy. And here we have it. Production says they're still firm supporters of all these teams hailing from the SA region, and versus ASIA, that will be the main team that will be representing the region here, hailing from Pakistan. So backing these ERANGEL rounds, they look really, really good. But this final round, moving into Miramar, they definitely need to show up big time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, right? And best part is that on our predictions, no Indonesian teams. I guess we're all kind of thinking to say that, hey, maybe it's time for a switcheroo. Like another team getting it. Like for yours, it's quite apparent. Team Secret have been knocking on the door of the chicken dinner. It's just that they have not been able to see the deal due to multiple reasons. But another reason I would say that if we were to look at the points, their eliminations are not the most. So perhaps if they can kind of tune that a bit, then we might see them getting this chicken dinner.
Yeah, perhaps so. Like, are they going to show us a little bit more of a gritty fight overall? That has remained to be seen coming from the rest of Team Secret, but they've been very coordinated. They're very good with their predictions as well as movement across the map, which sees them being so consistent in these matchups. And also keep in mind, tomorrow we have a continuation as well to these rounds. So there's still more points to be gained for tomorrow if it does not work out for today. But if they were to actually get another top 3, I think it will definitely set them up for success for sure. But overall, you know, the stakes aren't so high yet until we actually get closer to the weekend, where of course from Thursday onwards, or should I say actually Friday onwards, that's where the finals will begin. That's where you guys don't want to miss all the action here in this respective channel of Ruthless. So, of course, we definitely would like to, of course, thank you guys if you guys have already subscribed. And for those who haven't yet, make sure you guys do so, because we will, of course, offer you the very best possible games of PUBG Mobile from the best teams around the world.
Yeah, and over the weekends as well, there will be multiple Ruthless shows. Now, we're not going to spoil it for you, ladies and gentlemen. You got to follow the social medias of Ruthless Esports or whichever platform it is for you to be updated with what's coming soon. And of course, this is the best off-season tournament. We always get the best teams here. We always get the best performances. We always get the best action here from the Ruthless Hype Esports series, whatever it is called. And this season, you might see a new name. It is called the Pubg Mobile Ruthless Night of Champions. It's a bit of a rebrand there, and I do like the new name. The new name feels like it's an exclusive sort of whether you want to call it a scrim or whether you want to call it an off-season mini tournament, it is an exclusive lobby just for all of us to enjoy.
That's true. And overall, like, I've been enjoying every single round. I hope you guys have done so as well. And continue rooting for your favorite teams because they definitely need all that support that they can get, whether you guys are rooting for the Indonesian teams, Vietnamese teams, the teams from Mongolia, South Asia, Pakistan, you name it. Of course, all of them definitely deserve all of your support. Just make sure you guys keep that that chat friendly. I know that banters are going on because, you know, you guys are stans of those squads, but, you know, even all these squads, I'm pretty sure off the field, they're all very, very good friends with one another, having to be in so many of these tournaments. You probably met a few of these names before. I do know that, you know, you're probably close to some of these guys out there. You know, like, speaking from experiences, who's like your favorite player that you've talked to so far?
Ooh, it's hard to tell, right? It's hard to tell. I mean, everyone's generally cool. But within this lobby, let's see here. Because I don't really do interviews, right? Okay, so Rosemary gives me good content. Rosemary's
Okay.
good with interviews. Zaxi's very good with interviews as well.
Yeah.
I would say Sata is pretty good as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. On top of my head, those are some of the names. Hopefully, we'll be able to get more out of like the other teams, or maybe the other region teams that's normally further away from Southeast Asia, coming soon, just to get to know them a bit more and what runs through their minds when they go through these sort of tournaments or these sort of games.
Sure enough, you know, you run the list of names out there, and you happen to mention one of my absolute favorites. Me and him go way back, where that name is Zuxi. So the first time I met him, he was 16 years old, and it's been how many years now? Guy's pretty much grown up and still showing that he is sharp as ever. So far, BTR has gotten one chicken there of their own. Of course, right now there's two BTRs. It gets confusing. Don't worry, we're here to tell you all the story here in our final game of Miramar. This one starts off from Oasis, moving all the way down south. I feel all the flight paths today has been rather generous, rather than not. So we might actually get to see another big fight inside Los Leones if the plan continues to be the same.
Oh, I also want to give a special mention, right? So those were individuals, but as a team, I would say the most fun I've had is with Vampire.
Ooh.
Yeah, although we could speak basic English with each other, but everyone really tries to like interact, and you know they just use gestures, or they just hand you drinks or things like that. So I would say Vampire is probably one of the fun one as a team, as a whole bunch.
Yeah, they're really, really cool guys. And I guess the last time I saw them, it was a real tough situation where they were battling for the PMGC group stages or so. That was a couple of years back. So that being said, you know, it's great that they've definitely have gotten a lot of great runs throughout the course of the year. Right now, we still get ourselves that battle inside Los Leones. It's Team Secret as well as ASI8, and the rupture begins. You've mentioned about the cool kids of Vampire Esports. They start off with a bang. It's Newsy with First Blood.
Oh, here we go. The Vampires out for blood, literally right now, and they not only get one, they get two. Sanchez will be the next one to fall. Circle-wise, going to be the same as before. It's all the way down south. But the fights-wise, well, it's even more aggressive this time. And the fight's continuing on inside of Picado itself. STALWART Esports will lose another player. And now they have only one player left to go up against Vampire Esports. Not only that, say hello to Harame Bros.
Oh, even FAZE has a member taken down, while there is that one member out there, Stone, now getting clipped out by the corners of the slums as well as Casino. Shreps, he just left that one member of what I do believe to be ST or somebody else out there, and now going for the charge. And Vampires, they take the win.
Ooh.
It's Newsy with those 3 frags, and he still tries to resuscitate, tries to go for recovery, but going up against Harame Bros right now will be a difficult task. Meanwhile, the Savior stuck in the middle of Los Leones. That is a massive battle we had in Picado. Are we going to get the same thing inside of Los Leo?
Well, we saw a big fight inside of Los Leones in the first Miramar today. We probably might see it again. The Xavier Alliance is here, and also another team across them. I believe that's I8 just across them. Yeah, so we got 3 teams here. No HARAME Bros this time because they decided to go to Picado instead to join in the fights where last we saw Vampire Esports was doing it. And now they're going to continue on that fight. Vampire Esports have an idea that HARAME Bros is here. So it looks like these 2 teams will be inseparable now.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a tough situation still. I mean, Vampires did lose at least a member in between the mix. But hey, their firepower is a force to be reckoned with. Jappy does actually get the catch against Fukov, so quickly as he runs, he falls again. Very little health left. Jappy still holding back noise. Casino, this is where they try to run right into the corridors. The alleyway is not going to be safe for Schweppes. So all that effort of picking up from Newsy results back to square one. Newsy now spots out EMAS all the way to the top side, but look at the damage being done by just a UMP. You give him an AR. That's
wow.
He doesn't need the AR. He gets the headshot.
Just to be surprised by the other members of HARAME Bros from behind. Just when we were celebrating Newsy's sharpshooting. Well, that just had to happen. But it's okay. It's okay. At least it's a early rest for Vampire Esports tonight. Well, HARAME Bros will claim Picado all for themselves.
That was exhilarating. I love every single moment of it. And this is going to be the second time that we are looking at the PMCL champions to be winning a trade in an Irving setting. But that being said, it was mainly just Vampires doing their thing till they are fully weakened up. So I want to see that full squad strength between Vampire Esports versus HARAME Bros. Again, here comes Alliance, though. As you voted for them, they show up strong. 2 points already for Kasim. Is that his original name moving into the PMSL, or was he supposed to be some other player? Do you remember who this could be?
Nah, that's obviously that he just used Kasim just because. I think there's some sort of like his calling name or something on the outside, but that's actually Jimmy OP.
Makes sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. I was like, that face looks too familiar to be called Kasim, you know? But yeah, at least now I get a better picture. While teams are going to have a long ride down to the south, Falcons might just be in the mix between both VOIN Donkey as well as R2 as the battle continues on. Big shreds running across, and Jimmy goes in for 3.
Well, 3 eliminations now. I mean, he's on the roll, but hey, someone wants to stop him. And the other members of Alliance will need to come in. We got Flex here together with Jimmy OP. He should be able to be revived as he crawls behind this wall. At the same time, the elimination feed continues to roll with BTR Knights in a fight with Roy.
Interesting fights taking place all across. And that's a big Nate coming from break, while the rest of these members of Team Secret seems to be scattered onto multiple locations. Spots out flags. Leon Punk up to something as Porsche gets taken out. Whereas Action now strikes onto some members of BTR. So that's happening off camera while we still focus on to this one. Team Secret now looking for that off angle, and that will be it. Alliance sells for 3 points.
Well, yo, boys, we need left with 1 player, and that's going to be Break. And he's still not out of it just yet, because I8 is around the corner. Behind him, there's another team. But we move over to BIGETRON and G. Looks like they have a lot of company in this area. Falcons, one of them, right in front. And another team that is quite spread out. That is HARAME Bros. Look at the spread on the minimap. 1 on the north, 1 on the south, and who knows where the rest are.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a little bit of a daunting challenge, especially right now with the presence of BIGETRON being around these vicinities. Range now being spotted by Leon Punk, while the rest of the Falcons are also within very close distance, so perhaps those shots coming from BTR might have actually signaled range is pretty much exposed right now, but the lurk coming from Action, he could potentially do a lot of damage from this angle. The moment that they step out of that warehouse, this is going to get really rowdy real soon.
Yeah, and so it's a matter of time. Well, your boys, Team Secret, looks like they didn't make it. Number 11 with 2 elimination points, so our predictions are off. Now it's only predictions. I8 is still in the game.
And as a matter of fact, I8's doing really, really well. 3 points at, oh boy, get spotted. That Pan can only save 1 tap, but RRQ, they've been in a great form so far. Just trampling on all these members of Falcons out of nowhere. And that forced East to literally wrap around the eastern side of the map. So, that being said, this circle goes even further down south, where no names get to even claim the rim of the circle right now. Fallout now drops into the nade up against the rest of DX, and this is where ASI is also getting marked.
What?
Chua couldn't really respond in time. He was holding on to that grenade, couldn't really switch it up, and Fallout, he adds 1 more to the table. 5 points for ASIA.
And looks like one of the BTR teams have been eliminated. I believe that's going to be BTR NG out. But we got Falak here. Oh, wait a second. Did he just nade himself?
I think so.
He did. Oh, he did, Falak. Oh, no, not in that situation.
Oh, this looks so bad. I mean, he could have actually bounced it to Parajin, but I didn't even spot that the nade drops right back at him. So I don't know. I don't think he expected it either ways, because it looked to me that it went across the room, and just like that, that 1-pointer goes out. For MV now on the hunt, tries to trade up against the rest of RRQ Ryu on the outskirts of Picado. Now finds themselves on the outskirts. Docker might be able to actually secure all these points out there. Might as well do so while the rest of RQ is being kept busy. For Miracle Vibes with the upper hand in his battle, as they will have the big wraparound from the ground floor, infiltrating from all corners. Not many spaces for him to actually run and hide. Look at that member, is only down to 1 HP. And I'm not too sure if they could actually hold out for more.
Yeah, the zone will be on top of them real soon anyway. Stage number 2 it is. Parajin just got eliminated. That means that D-Xavier is out at number 8. Nade by Ruthless onto the 2nd floor, hoping to secure at least that elimination point, and he will get no mercy from that nade. Snake is the final member for RRQ from a chicken dinner to now a solo player. Doc is now down on his knees, though. The other members of 4 Medical Vibes comes out to the 2nd floor, and Ruthless will land the final blow to take out RRQ.
Wow. It definitely took a while, but for Medical Vibes, the Masters still pull off a decent record out there. Not exactly the cleanest, I would say, but it is still a win, irregardless. 8 points for Harame Bros, as they've been battling the whole time from the inside of Picado onto the outskirts. Only down to 2 members at the moment. I look at VOIN Donkey, happily being directly in the middle where everybody's squished over the top side. That's where the party's currently at, baby. They should be joining right in, since they've already been looking around. There's nothing to be seen out there. VOIN Donkey could secure themselves a chicken dinner to make it a full Indonesia glorious chicken dinner day.
Full Indonesian day. It's going to be quite likely though. Okay, we got Alter Ego, BTR, VOIN Donkeys. There's only 3 of them. Yeah, so 3 out of the remaining, let's see, 8 teams is that? Okay, and need the screen to be bigger before we can confirm that number again. But it's
45% chance.
Okay, yeah. 3 out of 6. So that's 50% chance.
Ooh, look at that angle. Range with another pickoff. It's just so impressive that, you know, today Range has really stepped up to the mark of really matching up to speed of Federalis. Rosemary now comes into play. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough one to dodge, but for some reason, that BTR member will be able to hold all the way through. Once again, it's Two of the finest of Indonesia, Zuxi versus Rosemary. This is definitely a battle to behold. Face up now. Spotted through the smoke. Rosemary goes down. Great shots fired there by Bagas, also known as Zuxi. But VOIN Donkey also having a commotion of their own. Everyone's inside the smoke. Alpha now pulling in the middle of nowhere.
Alba. Oh, he's just thrown inside the smoke. And finally spotted out by Sata. And Alba will be eliminated out to Eagle out number 6. 1 elimination point. As for ASI Esports, final member here, Red Devil. Taking on damage. Look at this amount of health. Only one last tick of health. Like he almost got eliminated.
Oh boy. Thankfully, it was prolling all along, having a little bit of that crease to just tuck in there real tight. VOIN Donkey, this is their game to play for. While BTR, they definitely managed to recover after that form of fight. Federal is still in the game. We can finally get to see them as they go for that rampage. 10 points. And my, Range and Federales, these two are an unstoppable duo. So ruthless throughout the course of battles inside Picado, and of course we are having the best of Ruthless showdown with them on board.
And that top 40% chance that another Indonesian team could score the chicken dinner. Long range by Boychill onto the other side, putting back pressure onto Federales. Federales, he does have his vehicle though, but in about 10 more seconds we'll get to see the circle ship again. But teams, they're not too worried about the circle right now. They're just all out for blood. They're looking for more eliminations.
They're definitely feeling a little bit more hungry, but they gotta find themselves in a decent space. And as a matter of fact, they don't really have to move too far off. I believe they spotted out the rest of Harame Bros while they are advancing up into this church side. What will Federales do up against 3 members of BTR? They heard those engines roaring. Federales respecting that space. Any form of misstep from BTR, that would be a good catch to make it an even fight. For now, I'm just playing it really smartly.
While Federales taking his time at the corner, he knows that he's alone, so he'll be outnumbered by the members of BTR. But they kind of have an idea that Federales is there though. Looking up his own nade, Sata is going to rush in with the UMP. Okay, second time cooking around by Federales. 3, 2, 1. He will lob it across, and it did not connect onto anyone, but it gave away his position to his opponent.
Oh, they're running around checking the compound, but nothing to be found. Federales might actually follow themselves through those staircase. Grenade now responded from the side of range. This could be going real good for the side of Harame Bros, so long as they mark those angles.
Oh.
There we go. First drop, one traded out. Federales down. Only down the range, but they could not secure anything more. BTR, they triumph, and here comes the rest of VOIN Donkey. Aegon I8 or ASI8 is actually still in this matchup, but it's only down to 1 member left. And there you go. Vexy drops it right through. Satar goes down, and Zuxi soon to follow suit. Now down to high game. Zuxi does connect that grenade, but is he gonna be able to hold out? VOIN Donkey looking for a potential win. They have to settle the scores here with that Predators right there. Not much left in the tank, and they still have all 4 members. But the question now is, where is Red Devil? Here he is as they arrive to the church. Now that is a little awkward, considering the fact that, you know, he is now in a place that is of his weakness. And speaking of which, VOIN Donkey will just exile the demon to claim their own chicken dinner.
Oh, looks like VOIN Donkey became a priest. And Red Devils take it out. And it is a absolute Indonesian night, ladies and gentlemen. VOIN Donkey claims the final chicken dinner cleanly, not losing any players in this final match. And at first they were playing passively. They played in the middle of the circle. They didn't really want to move until they probably thought to themselves that, hey, you know what? Everyone's having fun. By the time we moved from our comfort of the middle of the circle to go out and look for eliminations, and they got 6 of them.
Yeah, I think that they've been spending a lot of time in that zone, thinking that we got no action and we just keep seeing all these names appear on our screens. Like, where's the fun in that? Like, the moment that they heard this noise, they start to trail in, and that's the best thing they could have actually done overall, and in perfect manner, where they have seen the weakened side of BTR as well as Harame Bros. So they chime in onto the spot, and then there was only 1 player left. So pretty straightforward as it goes. And so far, Rizak has been really phenomenal throughout the entire course of the evening. And sure enough, it's been all 4 chicken dinners delivered to Indonesia.
Yeah, and look at the amount of healing by Potato, right? 2.
How
I
do
mean,
you
I've
feel
seen a
too?
0 before, but a 2. How do you hit a 2?
Oh, okay. Maybe he fell from a ridge and then like he had the booster. He didn't really like pick like med kit or something like that. Maybe that's just how that 2 damage gets healed up. I don't know, but the MVP is Ferralis. Wow.
The Filipino Terminator coming in with 5 eliminations, 709 damage. Survival time of 14 minutes, 14 seconds. Nice number there. And a 50% team contribution. Look out for this guy. Look out for this guy throughout our Ruthless series and also in the Globals later. He might turn up big. He might turn up big. And he's not even 20 years old. He's like, what, 18 or 19?
Yeah, he's still so young, and he definitely have so much to prove in the international stages. And he is already besting some of all these big names like Falak, Jimmy OP, as well as his old teammate Range, who has been really working really well all together. So great job to the Filipino side to really show up huge in those big number margins, especially winning out up against Vampire Esports. And how many names were there inside Picado? I kind of lost count anyways. 16 points for VOIN Donkey, but following closely is HARAME Bros.
Yeah, and all these teams, unfortunately, only Roy Esports not able to get a single point in this round. At least for STALWART Esports, they got 2 points. But will that move them away from the number 16? Well, we need to look at the scores later on. Other than both HARAME Bros and VOIN Donkey, ASI 8, 12 points this round, double digit. 4 Medical Vibes, 11 points, so that's not too shabby, I must say. For our 2 BIGETRON brothers here, 9 points for BIGETRON Knights and BIGETRON NG, 6 points next to each other. But with this amount of points collected by them, it's very likely that they will not be at the number 1. They weren't the last time we saw them anyway. But our daily MVP, man, he definitely stole the highlight here as an individual player, top with 11 eliminations.
It's crazy because in one of the rounds of Miramar, he got 7 eliminations by his own in that span of a round. And he has been really dishing up the biggest damage possible with 2,626. 2626 is the number to beat. So that's it. Of course, we want to see a whole lot more coming in from Team Falcons heading into tomorrow's run, as he's definitely got a lot to show to the audience out there. But as we take a look at the current top favorites out there, Falak has always been this sharp every step of the way.
Oh yes, look at the numbers here. 12 eliminations, 2,336 damage. Wow, that's way ahead of anyone else. Even Satai is 1,604 damage, although he scored the same amount of eliminations. And then we have top 2,626, the only one that is above Falak, but he only managed to score 11 eliminations. Then we have the Filipino Terminator Federalis, 9 eliminations, 1,962, and Stick, the new kid on the block here, also one of our top players today.
And here we go. The overall rankings is right before our eyes. BIGETRON NG takes that number 1 spot, while Knights is just 3 points shy. It's still being BIGETRON dominated over on the top 2. While VOIN Donkey, they got this chicken dinner, and they will push all the way up to number 3, overtaking RRQ Ryu's position, as they're currently tied in numbers, but there is more placement points for VOIN Donkey. However, not too far off, we have ASI Esports at number 5. Team Secret start to lose consistency on that last round, therefore drops all the way down to 6. But we also see HARAME Bros moving to the top 8.
Yeah, and on the bottom 8 though, we do have Vampire Esports moving up 2 notches here to number 11. STALWART Esports, unfortunately, is still the team at the bottom. They've been there for quite a while now. And we have a couple of drops, including Team Falcons onto number 9, losing the first page spot. Roy Esports dropped 3 spots to number 10. And we also have FAZE Clan dropped 2 spots to number 13 with 13 points. And so far, out of the teams on page number 2, the only team who has not scored a single placement point, only dependent on eliminations, is FAZE Clan.
Yeah, that is actually rather strange overall. Well, I guess they were really testing out some new strats or just going all out on all these battles. They start off pretty strong, but of course, gassed out in the a couple of few rounds later. Tomorrow, hopefully, a good recovery will come true for those guys who are currently placed on the second half of the leaderboards, as there's still plenty of chances with 4 matches remaining. So that basically concludes a lot of all these matches that we have for the night, ladies and gentlemen. And tomorrow we have another 4 rounds to offer here in the PUBG Mobile Ruthless Night of Champions.
Yes, the Scrim edition, ladies and gentlemen, before we move on to the actual match that will be happening in 2 days' time throughout the weekend, of course, for your entertainment. So this is pretty much a warm-up, all these teams to get the feel of the lobby. Who knows who might come up in towards the end here once we reach our weekend, which is Sunday. But that will be all for us tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sir Clark, together with the wonderful Contra. We'll be seeing you again in the future. Stay tuned to Ruthless Hype Esports. Good night.